I believe I was talking to myself there. Shall we try that again, ladies and gents? Welcome along. It would help if I forget to mute myself, really. But there we go. Welcome to the Kadan Computers GT3 2022 World Series. And not just any old race tonight, but the finale. It is round 6 from Laguna Seca, and we have got something a little bit special for you tonight. My name's Adam D, or apparently I now seem to just be referred to as Adam Pegleg. This is the final round, and I'm joined by your normal commentator, Cammy Sturch. Good evening, Cammy.
Hello, Adam. How are you?
I'm all right, thank you. Yes, not too bad. I don't know if you've looked at the screen anytime recently, but it appears to be raining.
It's gotten damp, hasn't it?
It has, yes. And I think if anyone chucks in a exclamation mark Johnny, you can probably understand why. It is undoubtedly Johnny's fault. I'm going to try and find you some cars that are out on track so that we can have a look at what's going on. And then we will be able to follow the action a little bit more. But I'm pleased to say that Johnny is with us as well. Johnny, good evening. You there, Johnny?
I'm here. Hello.
Oh, there we go. Very good. And this is your fault, isn't it?
Yeah, more than likely.
Well, welcome back to oNiD. Oh no, it's raining again. As Ben keeps threatening to recategorise us. Ben seems to have joined the comms booth as well. He's on mute, but hi, Ben. I don't know if... Oh, hello, Ben.
Hello, good evening, everyone.
Oh, there, we can hear him.
How are you, sir?
I'm alright, I'm struggling, so I thought I'd just come in here, because I'm probably going to be crashed into a wall in about 15 minutes, and then I'll hop over on to be Ted Kravitz for the evening.
Are you thrilled to see the rain starting to come down, then?
Yes, because I'm really bad in the dry, apparently, so it can't get any more worse in the wet, can it?
So, gents, and Cammy, of course, tonight is the finale. Cammy, I know you've been looking at the standings. What do we need to be looking out for tonight?
Well, it's all thrown into disarray because, of course, this is a double-length race, and it means double points are on offer. So, whilst ordinarily, if it was only regular points, 5 drivers would be in with a shot with the... Sorry, 4 drivers would be in for a shot of the championship. But because it's double points, I suppose it means that any one of 9 drivers could technically win it. I mean, Chris Martin could win it, but that would mean the 8 drivers above all crashing out and scoring 0. But it's not impossible. I suppose it still comes down to our front 4 runners, Jonathan Seville, Martin Thorpe, Dylan Beeson and Christian Kelly, although I wouldn't want to discount Jimmy Mancy as well. Alex Shahabi would be an outside chance, although he has had a win this season. He's just struggled with being consistent.
Yes. But we know just how quick Alex is. He showed us that in the GT4s on Tuesday night, and pretty much anything else that he drives with us. We know that Jimmy Mancy's quick as well. I mean, what a race he had on Friday night in round 1 of our brand new 2.4 Enduro series. You can tune into that each Friday night here at oNiD Racing. I think this promises to be quite exciting tonight. I mean, obviously we've got no idea what the weather conditions will be come race time, but we've certainly got a damp track out there. Now, Ben, seeing as you're here for a moment, on a damp track, that's the kind of tricky balance between full wets and a dry tyre if it was GT4, but in GT3 it's really only wet tyres, isn't it?
Yeah, until the track goes to greasy, it's kind of a wet scenario for people. So by the end of quali, we might have similar to, was it Suzuka, where we kind of had a drying track and then damp conditions again. So it could be interesting towards the end, but I think the AM guys out there right now probably will be on wets.
And I suppose so anyone who's not been with us before for one of these World Series qualifying sessions, it's a 30-minute session. So you get 10 minutes. The first 10 minutes is the AM drivers only. The second 10 minutes is for the silver drivers only, and then the final 10 minutes is for the pros. Is it possible that the track could be down to greasy by the time we get to pros?
Is that...
Yeah,
Sorry.
definitely.
I wasn't sure if that's...
I'm sure Cammy will agree, but yes,
Yeah.
it is very possible. If it doesn't rain, it's pretty warm. It's 28 degrees, track temp 34.
Yeah.
So by the time, maybe not with this amount of cars on track, but by the time we get through the silvers, definitely. And you've got the time multiplier as well to think about, so it'll go twice as quick.
Yeah, Johnny, it's a 2-time multiplier, is that right?
Yeah, 2-time multiplier. Just to quickly jump in, we have no Christian Kelly tonight. We have no Jimmy Mancy tonight. In actual fact, it's not double points tonight. It's only normal points.
So anything else that we got wrong between us?
No, you did all right there.
Dan Hyde lied to me.
Yeah, Dan did right there.
Ladies and gents, track is greasy. Track has just switched to greasy. So you got to feel sorry for these AM drivers out there right now. They might just have time to throw their car in and grab some dry tyres, but I'm guessing, Cammy, your chuckle was at the synchronised spinning in the background going on.
Just as we said, oh yeah, you said it's greasy, we see the sort of Swedish coloured car. I wasn't sure if that was the Swede speed spinning round. I wasn't sure if it was the right blue, unless they've changed it. But yeah, some sort of synchronised spins. Beautiful to see. Beautiful thing.
Talking of things that are beautiful to see, Dixon Hurst in the V12 Aston has just gone second in AMS, just a 10th off of the fastest time. But at the moment, it is Sam Roughton in pole.
Not a surprise. He's been doing that throughout the season in the AM class. He's been a standout star of the category.
Very good. Always a good opportunity now just to jump into the chat. Man, I should have done it a bit sooner because there's quite a lot of you in there tonight. Thank you for joining us. And also thank you for being the ones to point out that I'd left myself on mute. I mean, standard 2020 strat right there. Sorry, you're on mute. North Swed, a.k.a. the man. He's here, so good evening. Fred, Captain Sparks, hi folks, how long until start? Well, it cracks on after quali, so we will be starting the race in about 22 minutes time. Heike van der Veen is here, of course, and Rob the Ace. It's like all the legends have descended at once, really. Plus we've got Lega. And then there's Bo Lamberts is with us. Good evening. Apparently he's fixed his heating, so he's now at a normal, livable temperature. Rob the Ace is demanding entertainment. So, I mean, if the track action is rubbish, then Cammy, maybe you can sing, possibly.
Any songs in mind?
No, anything really. Be fine. We're not going to ask Johnny to sing, that's for sure. Lega says that I'm bassy tonight, so there we go. He's also asking why I'm peg leg. Long story.
You are quite bassy.
Am I? That's because I've turned my bass up. I like to.
I
don't have a deep enough voice, you see, so I like to try and make it.
No, whereas mine's really deep, isn't it?
Do you know what? I envy your voice because I could do some of that. But I just don't have it. As Danny Medina goes fastest now,
I can
2
do
sets
it
up.
with the voice. I like to think I can do a smooth jazz radio voice. You're listening.
Whereas I tend to be a little bit more
FM.
hospital radio than jazz radio. But never mind. Javier Marquez, let's go. Good luck for all the guys. Yeah, let's go indeed. Yeah, loads of you in there tonight. Oh, Mr. Vest as well. It's going to be a nightmare race. Oh, nice to see you're as
What's the
cheery
figure?
as possible. There's more than 30 in there right now, which is good. WVO, can we have big screen? Yes, you can. Seeing as you are so nicey, let's whack it on big screen for you. Jimbo Manti, cold round 2 is killing you off. Wuss. No, honestly, I hope you feel better soon. I know you've had a rough week, so you have done without that. Princess JT's here. Hello.
Oh, she is.
Of course she is. I think that's everyone caught up with. So, Cammy, what's going on track?
Some cars going round. No, so we've got Danny Medina at the moment. I haven't got the figures that we'd usually have. Usually Dan's taking care of our technical sort of on-screen stuff, and we'd get a lot of figures of if they're up or down on their current lap times. I'm going to go by Danny there, sort of missing his apex, that he wasn't up on his time. He's just passed the line with a few seconds to spare in the session, so this will be his last lap to get further up onto the front row. There is a sizable gap though from first to third. I mean, there's some huge gaps between the drivers.
Well, I think it's just
something ain't right there.
I think it's as the track's evolving so quickly, because as Ben's just pointed out in the chat, the track is now green, so it's evolved very quickly from damp to greasy to green. So for these guys, it's going to have been a case of right tyres at right time, really. And as Dog Juice goes third,
I think Medina could go pole just being on a dry track with just a careful, nothing special, but just to keep it on the track sort of lap.
Yeah, Medina is currently 7 tenths up on his best. Yeah, sorry, Cammy, you don't have the same information that you normally do. I've got it in front of me. Oh, as Medina sails off at the corkscrew.
And that's the lap done.
Yeah, but Sam Roughton is flashing purple, so he might just beat his current best.
With the current time differences between him and the AM class, he can get himself really far up the grid now, mixing it among the silvers, and put several cars between himself and Alex Depper and Dog Juice. Is it Dog Juice Jackson? Yeah, I've still not been told the secret to that. But that would be fantastic for him, because I believe he is leading the AM class. No, sorry, Alex Depper is leading the AM class, but Sam Roughton welling with a chance of snatching a title at the final round.
Wow. Well, that is your AM qualifying done. So the silvers are out there, which means that this man is out on track. And I think kudos to Johnny for dropping his oNiD livery tonight, going yellow and blue, and making it very clear tonight that oNiD stands with Ukraine. We certainly do. Obviously, this is certainly not some kind of political broadcast, but I think it's fair of all of us to say that we're all shocked and saddened by seeing what's going on around the world right now. So, if we do know anyone in that part of the world, then stay safe, and yeah, we're all with you as we see Johnny head down into turn 1.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm just quickly looking up ways to help Ukraine. I believe unicef.org.uk have a website to protect children in Ukraine at the moment. So unicef.org.uk.
Fantastic.
Yeah, say everything. We're not affiliated with them, but I don't know if it's more out of a love of Ukraine or just a sort of, no, we need to stand up to Russia. But yeah, help however you can. You don't have to be boots on the ground to help. No,
you certainly don't have to follow the advice of our government this morning, who said that they'll support anyone who wants to go and fight in Ukraine. Anyway, let's not get into that right now, because we've got cars on track. But like I say, kudos to Johnny for his special livery tonight. So what is the final round? And we'll see how that Merc gets on. I'd fancy a Merc around Laguna Seca, I have to say. Ben, you're still with us, are you?
Yes, still here.
I haven't got enough screens to be able to see who's in the comms box at any given time. Best car tonight, do you reckon?
In the right hands, probably the McLaren. As you might have noticed in practice, the top 2 times were McLarens. However, I think overall race pace might be the Bentley. So watch out. I think Alex is a good call for the day to be really far up the order.
Well, there's the split between silver and AMs is spot on at the moment, but of course the silvers do have a slightly better conditioned track than the AMs did earlier. So James Suckling is currently fastest with a 124.6, and he's flashing purple, going a 10th quicker than that. Julian Bell, JB, is currently 2 tenths up on his best, as is Dirk Botha. Grant Eckett's 4 tenths up, Thomas Stock 7 tenths up, and Vihan van Rooyen is a full 1.8 seconds up. So looking to make some gains as we see James Suckling cross the line, and he sets a new fastest time. But Julian Bell
helping each other.
Yeah, I did wonder that, the 2 teammates, a bit of a tow there. Julian Bell is absolutely flying. He's half a second up on this lap.
Yeah, obviously this track is really quickly rubbering in. I'm sure we're going to see the status change from green any minute now, as unfortunately Sam Roughton hasn't been able to, even though he had a sizable gap on Axe Stepper and Dog Juice Jackson, he's not been able to make, they might still... No, I don't think there are any more silver cars to put in a lap, are there? So nobody will be separating Roughton from Depper.
Nope. So it is a perfect split, and Mr. Willie Black will be very pleased to see that. Rudolf Stein has gone fastest, but JB's about to eclipse that, I think. He does indeed, a 10th up on everyone else. So the Swedish man goes to the top for Swede Speed Racing.
Yeah, it's a great performance because, as Chris McCarthy was saying last week, that Julian Bell is down in 11th place in the championship for silver, and these last couple of races he's suddenly come alive and he's fighting at the front. And sort of, what's happened? Has this Swede been sort of injected with the IKEA meatball suddenly, and he's got energy like Popeye, and he's suddenly able to put it on pole? I was offended, the Swedes.
No, not at all. I'm sure they're all very, very proud of IKEA and their meatballs. Dirk Botha gets within 4/10 of pole, but JB is one of those drivers who is improving very, very quickly. He's only 15 years old, and has been with us for a little while now at oNiD, but is improving pretty much every time you put him on track. So he had a really good run in the Enduro series on Friday night as well.
So I remember he had a tough time in Suzuka after he was spun round by, it was one of the BMWs. I'm not sure if it was Miles Dixon. Not entirely sure, but he was spun round, and basically, that was lap one. He's then having to start the race from near the back, unfortunately, and it sort of got worse later on as the weather was very changeable at Suzuka, wasn't it? It was very wet. It was very wet. At Alton Park was a changeable one, but yeah, very mature young lad, and.
He has his moments, trust me.
The Aston Martin is, it's a favourite of mine, the V8 Vantage. It's very beginner friendly. It's a very stable car. I wonder if Ben and Johnny Ash would agree with me on that, because I've got less experience with ACC. Thanks, guys. Yeah, their silence speaks volumes. They agree with me, obviously.
Johnny's currently trying to put laps in, so we might forgive his silence right now. He's currently 9th overall. But even a small improvement for him could easily see him as high as 6th. There's not a huge gap, as Willie Black just pops in ahead of Johnny. So the Johnny/Willie battle continues to rage as per usual. Johnny's probably going to get one more, if maybe 2 more laps in. So let's see what he can do. But 2/10 improvement would put him up to 7th overall. And there's a right little glut of cars, 4th, 5th and 6th as well.
A glut of cars?
A glut, yeah. It's probably not the right word, but both Van Oosenen and Waters all there in, within a 10th of a second of each other.
Yeah, we have little clusters, don't we? The front 3 are sort of all separated by 2/10.
Thank you.
And then 4, 5, 6 are sort of all within 4/10 of each other off pole, and then we've got another little cluster from 7th down to, my screen's gone blurry, sort of down to 10th or so, I think. I can't read the numbers.
11th,
the numbers, what do they mean? Down to 12th, it's sort of, they're all within. So there's this little clusters like you get in Formula 1 as well, where you get Formula 1 and then Formula 1.5 develops.
We've got purples flashing between James Suckling and Rudolf Stein and Julian Bell. So these 3 are there or thereabouts, running very, very similar lap time this time around. You can see Suckling got within 7 thousandths last time around, so didn't quite make it. Rudolf Stein, though, is 3/10 up on this lap at the moment, coming towards the end of the lap. So I think he has got a very good shout of going pole, but has just run wide in the final corner and dropped all that time. And now James Suckling is flashing purple. So Stein didn't improve at all. Just squeezes through to do one more, though. But let's pick up with James Suckling, because he is now flashing purple 2/10 up.
Yeah, and to give people watching an idea of how much time 0.007 seconds is, It's faster than you can blink. If you tried to click your mouse as fast as you can, the difference between the click down and the click up would be more than 0.007 seconds.
No,
It's an unbelievably tiny amount of time.
It is. I mean, that example of the click up and down is probably a couple of tenths of a second rather than the thousandths.
Even if you tried to do it quickly, it would be more than a tenth, I imagine. But it's strange, isn't it? When we're racing, when you watch people racing, you can't visually see the difference between somebody being 2 seconds a lap slower, generally, unless you've got them next to each other or you're comparing them directly. When they're just going past, they all look, ooh, fast car. But when you're driving, you just think 2 seconds is an eternity.
Wow.
2 seconds is a huge amount of time. And William Black, sorry, yes, go on.
He goes fourth. That was a great lap. So I think Johnny's had a rough end to qualifying and hasn't put the time in that he wanted. James Suckling also snatched pole from Julian Belt. Rudolf Stein isn't going to improve as he crosses the line for the final time. And that is it for our silvers, unless Petr Jelinek.
Yeah, Petr Jelinek is still out there. He's just rounding the final corners now.
Yeah, he's not currently going any faster. He's not going any slower either. So unless he absolutely nails it out the final corner, no improvement coming up for Petr Jelinek. So that is your order in silver as well.
Adam, how do you feel about racetracks that just number their corners rather than giving them names? What do you find easier?
I prefer names, but that then involves me actually remembering to look up the names. Unless it's a track that I know the names.
Apart from the corkscrew, Laguna Seca is all numbers, so I think a little mini game for us.
Oh, I don't know.
Whilst we're watching, I'm looking at a few maps, and apart from the corkscrew, it's just turn 1, turn 2, turn 3, turn 4.
No, I think turn 1 and 2 is the Andretti hairpin.
Oh, is it really? Oh, we've got a few. Yeah, there's another map here that says Andretti hairpin, Rahal straight, corkscrew, rainy curve. So a lot of corners are still unnamed. I think a mini game through this race is we should get ideas from the chat on what to name the remaining corners. The sort of slight kink before the Andretti hairpin, that's unnamed.
No,
turns 3 and 4 seem unnamed.
Lego makes a good point. The little kink before the Andretti hairpin is actually turn 1. It's turn 2 and 3 is the Andretti hairpin. He's right. That's my fault.
What about 4? Because it's only saying on my map that 2 is the Andretti hairpin,
now,
not 3.
Shall I tell you where I saw the names? It wasn't on a normal track map. It was actually on Google Maps where I saw the names. So I'm currently Google mapping right now and trying to find it now. I've got to remember where Laguna Seca is because I don't like searching. I like finding.
California?
It is California.
Yeah, I wasn't sure. But again, I'm looking at another one that's from, it says Mazda Raceway, Laguna Seca. And, well, it's a technical map for drivers, so it's telling you elevation and such, but doesn't say.
Yeah. And it's also not. It's also not Mazda Raceway anymore. It's WeatherTech Raceway. It changed names.
So yeah, another map I found. You've got Rahal Straight, Andretti Hairpin, Rainy Curve. So I think if there are unnamed corners, we should get the chat to suggest names.
Well, it looks like Turn 5 is unnamed. So we'll start with that, shall we?
Yeah, let's get some ideas for Turn 5. Anyway, Dylan Beeson's on pole with a 123.8, and Alex Shahabi is a mouse click amount of time behind him.
Wow, yeah, that's that one's close. And Alex Shahabi is now
bing bing
flashing purple, but Miles, where's?
That's
Jonathan
drivers.
Seville and Miles Dixon all went through with a time at the same time and confused the hell out of Adam. You just heard the brain freeze, I'm sure.
You know, you refer to yourself in the third person. Cammy finds that very pretentious.
I am very pretentious, of course. Yes.
Cammy does not care for such things.
I'm not sure I could spell pretentious, but I am it.
You can barely say it.
There he is. How'd your qualifying go, Johnny?
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, noise.
I beat Tom. That's all right. But no, my tyres were massively overheating. So I was not as quick as I wanted to be, but quicker than I went in practice. So
you were out when the track was still green, weren't you?
Yeah, and then it got hotter and hotter, and I stayed out, and then my tyre pressures were like at 28.5 by the time I'd finished. So
Yeah, that's where I started spinning in the Lambo. Once I got over 26, 27 maybe, I was just spinning, and the more you spin, the more you get hotter. And yeah, don't do that during the race. That'd be bad.
Apparently, turn 5 is peg leg bend.
Oh no! Give it an American hero name. Give it.
surely one of the corners will have to be named after me. It'd be whichever one I crash at.
I'd call it Bubba Bend after Bubba Wallace. And
that's
almost
cool.
After he almost got the Daytona, and I think we were watching, weren't we? And we were willing him on, and he was so close.
I'm currently watching round 2 of the NASCAR on my other screen as well.
Very good.
So you've sort of got one eye on this race, one eye on the other race.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Jimbo Mancy says points for who Rainey is without googling it.
Well, I'm out.
I'm out as well. I'd have to Google it.
I wonder if that's someone to do with.
Alex Shahabi's got very close, by the way. 400ths off Jonathan Seville, though. Currently flashing purple. 3/10
As I said, it's a mouse click. It's a mouse click behind.
He is, yeah. He was a mouse click behind, and then he got dropped down by a few more people, and now he's another mouse click behind.
Oh,
so...
that's not the same mouse click behind.
No, it's a different mouse click. As we see another blue and white, blue and yellow.
To illustrate that. There you go. If you can hear that little mouse click, that's the amount of time 0.04 seconds is probably.
Yep. Somebody.
I'm not a timing official.
Somebody noticed USB sounds joining the chat. Yep. Sorry about that. I've fully unplugged it now because it was going to start making lots of noises.
USB sounds?
Wow. Jonathan Seville goes half a second faster at the top. Track is fast now, so that's why.
Yeah, not surprising from Jonathan Seville. He's been having a fantastic season, and it's not surprising he's leading the championship, and I suppose he is the title favourite at the moment. He's got the favoured car. As Ben said, the McLaren was going very well around Laguna Seca. You've got Jonathan Seville in the McLaren, Dylan Beeson in the McLaren, Christian Kelly in the McLaren. You've got BMWs of Mancy and Thorpe, but no Mancy tonight. And then it was just like Alex Shahabi in the Bentley, because Ben Brown's in the McLaren, and there's another BMW. So you've just got, and Chris Martin in the Ferrari. So it's only like Alex Shahabi in the Bentley and Chris Martin in the Ferrari that thought, no, I'll pick something else other than those two.
Well, you have also got Alex Park in the Bentley that we're watching right now, and Alex has also gone with a blue and yellow livery for tonight, so kudos to Alex. And you've also got Daniel Chavez in the Porsche, but those two find themselves in and amongst the silvers at the moment, needing to find some improvement out there. And there is a bit of a split between the silvers and the pros at the moment. You can see
they are
Veman
mingling.
is in there, and Thorpe and Brown, and Parkin and Chavez. So yeah, some work to do for some guys.
Now, some viewers, fans may be wondering, where's Victor Bukov? What happens with Victor Bukov, Adam?
Johnny, what happened with Victor Bukov?
You don't.
Due to Victor's work schedule, he had to pull out about halfway through the season, unfortunately. Which he pulled out of everything he was in because I think his work got busy, which was a shame because he was right in the battle in the rookie league. He was going to be interested in doing the GT4 league. He was going to be he would have been quick in that, and then he was right up there in this one as well. But I'm sure he'll be back. He's just his work schedule got in the way.
Oh, it just said disqualified on this, so I worried there was a.
No, that's when they get removed on SGP.
Defaults.
Yeah. Johnny, are we missing anyone else from the league now as well?
There's a few more. Yeah, there's William McCone and Peter Brett.
Yeah, Peter Brett dropped out quite early, so did Will McCone. So yeah, we've lost a few. We had 50 to start with, and then we lost a few as the season goes on.
Niels Manhanden. Silver?
Yeah, he had work issues, so he had to leave.
And Gabriel Simones, Hilke van der Veen, Adam D. I wonder what happened to him. And Kenny Sandberg.
That one really wanted to race, but was just far too fat and lazy, so didn't bother turning up. Is that what we say about Adam D? Is that right?
I've not seen a picture of you, but I've never pictured you as being fat.
Oh, I am.
Because race drivers generally tend to be fairly, not slim, but just fair. Because it's like, a sporty attitude, a sporty athletic sort of mindset.
That's why I'm a sim race driver, not a real race driver. Yeah, I don't have the discipline to not be fat, so it'll have to be sim life for Adam. Jonathan Seville's done a 23.000, by the way, which is always impressive. Miles Dixon is second now, so that's a Pulse Sim Sport 1-2 at the moment. Those boys first and second. There's Miles out on a lap as well. Jonathan Seville improving ever so slightly on this lap, but not by a huge amount. Alex Shahabi's currently a 10th up on his best, but he'd need a bit more than that to jump in and amongst the Pulse boys at the front.
Yeah, and Miles Dixon, our only Jamaican registered driver, he can sort of be the rear gunner for Jonathan Seville to sort of help his teammates secure the championship. He just has to hold off the championship rivals, Dylan Beeson and Christian Kelly.
For the first time tonight, Cammy? Absolutely.
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 So I did sort of tease Adam because his go-to word for being asked anything, or sort of the comms going back to him from me, would be absolutely, and I teased him for it. And then Chris McCarthy, sort of Eurosport, Sky Sports expert commentator, also said absolutely, and I thought, maybe.
And then you sent me a video during the week of an official Formula 1 video where I counted at least 4 occasions where somebody said absolutely, and I thought, right, he's catching.
I was in an F1 video this week.
You were? Yeah, well, not actually you. Well, your picture
tweet
was there, though, wasn't it?
My tweet and my photo, yeah, because they were talking about George Russell getting his seat, and they featured my tweet, and they gave me a blue verified tick on Twitter that I do not have.
Brilliant. Like that. So qualifying is over, by the way, so let's just take a look at least the top 24 of this grid anyway. It's Seville from Dixon, then Shahabi, then Beeson, Weeman or Veeman, Chris Martin, and then we've got James Suckling in 7th overall, and that is pole in silver. Then you've got Ben Brown, Julian Bell, Rudolf Stein, Danny Chavez, Martin Thorpe, Willie Black, Dirk Botha, Petter Jelinek, Wilbert van Oosenen, our winner in our winner in the 2.4 Enduro Series AM class on Friday night. Let's see if I can get my words out. Shane Waters in 17th, then you got Parkin is 18th, Van Rooyen is 19th, Eckert 20th, Vest 21st, Johnny Ashley, also our winner in AM class on Friday night. He's 22nd. Tom Stocks 23rd. Sam Roughton 24th. Then I'll flick back to my other screen to tell you that Alex Depper is 25th. Graham Jackson 26th. Dixon Hurst 27th. Danny Medina 28th. Luis Figueroa Senior is 29th. David Oller 30th. And Jovan Kovacic 31st. Whew.
Well done, getting all of those out.
Yeah,
I feel sorry for the AM drivers who went out when it was damp and greasy.
Yeah, do you know the fantastic thing is that all of those different names in there, and the one that I struggled with was Graham Jackson.
For us, would be a simple name to pronounce as sort of British people pronouncing a British name. The formation lap is about to get started. Jonathan Seville will lead the cars away for the formation lap.
So,
any minute now. There we go.
You know what we need to do now, Cammy, don't you? Because it's formation lap time. So, who, in your mind, is going to win Pro tonight?
I think Jonathan Seville's got this wrapped up. I think Pulse Sim Sport have played it all correct. They've played it fantastically. They got it slightly wrong at Alton Park, and they were unlucky. But I think today, if the race stays, if the track stays dry and fast, and the weather looks like it will just stay overcast and dry, I think Seville's got this in the bag, and Miles Dixon can just make himself, as wide and hard to pass as possible, and he can just, even if he gets overtaken by Alex Shahabi, he can make himself a menace and sort of force Shahabi to defend and slow him down, all just, to help. He's gonna be the Sergio Perez, the sort of the Jamaican Minister of Defence.
Very good. I'm actually still going to go for Alex Shahabi to take the win, though. Alex has been on a rich vein of form just lately, and
he has.
I just have this sneaky... And I think Ben said earlier that the Bentley could be the good race car as well, rather than the over one lap car. So, yeah, I'm going to go with Alex Shahabi. What about Silver? What do you reckon?
Oh, Silver. Well, it's kind of hard not to be going for rooting for James Suckling. He's sort of got... I'm trying to think of it in percentage terms, but he's got like 25% more points than his nearest competitor, Wilbert Van Oosenen. Suckling's on 200 and Van Oosenen's on 154, and then Stack's on 138. That's a massive gap. It's 50 points for a win. So it's 50 points for a win. Sorry, and he's 46 points ahead.
Well, I'm very quickly going to go for Willie Black. I don't know why. I just sense a Willie Black night. Very quickly in AM, who do you reckon for tonight?
Sam Rowson.
Sam Rowson, okay.
Again, he's been a solid performer, and I think the BMW will cope better with riding some of these curbs and the corkscrew than the low-slung Lamborghini, and as well the McLaren. But I think Jonathan Seville's got he'll be able to handle the skill for handling that sort of car. I think the pros will be able to handle that. The AM, they might be happy with a slightly more comfortable car. Okay. As I'll let you take over as they approach the start.
Yep, and I'm going to say Johnny Ashley for the win, just for giggles.
Shits and giggles.
Yeah, I'll let you
Things
say
that will never happen.
Yeah, there we go. Right, we are waiting for the green light any moment now. And there it is. So Jonathan Seville leads us away, and look at Shahabi start alongside Miles Dixon. This could be an important move, but he's actually now being boxed in, and you see the dive up the inside. Where's that one going to end up? It's going to end up in both of the Pulse Sim Sport cars, and we see pretty much carnage. And Ben Brown's round. He was trying to go around the outside of everyone. That is a messy start for everyone. Miles Dixon right down the field. And there's opportunities here for drivers to find their way, but Jonathan Seville has managed to escape from all of that in the end.
Was that Lassie Vimin who was on the grass on the left and sort of cut across and caused the contact? Because that very much reminded me of the final round of the DTM series, where one of the drivers just sort of they didn't have the grass to go on, there was a wall, but they just sort of ploughed into the leaders to forcibly take the lead. And
I think it was Dylan Beeson, I think it was Dylan Beeson in the McLaren. But Julian Bell, look, in the silver class has managed to find a way through all of that, and he's now second overall.
Now, Jonathan Seville will be hoping that, his Minister of Defence sort of fell at the first hurdle, so he's going to be hoping that Julian Bell will be fighting for glory at the moment and wanting to hold on to his second place rather than quickly relinquishing those places, because he's got 4 cars between himself and the car in second place in silver class, James Suckling.
Alex Shahabi finds himself down in 9th. He's still got Miles Dixon right behind him, though. So Miles will be looking to find a way past, because that could then allow him to stop Alex from...
Oh, and he's going for a move.
He is.
He knows he's got a job, and it was straight up the inside, no bodily contact. Alex Shahabi saw it coming in. I think he sort of made space rather... But Miles Dixon is on a mission. He's obviously pretty annoyed, and Dylan Beeson is flashing Julian Bell, and he should not be doing that. They are racing for position.
Well, they are. I can only assume that he's thinking it's because they're in different classes, but Julian Bell does not need to jump out of Dylan Beeson's way here.
No, he's entitled to that second position. I know he's leading silver class, but there is no obligation for him to move out the way. Dylan Beeson shouldn't be flashing him.
No, and it is something that you can receive penalties for here at oNiD. So for anyone joining us for the first time, we don't have live stewarding, but we do have a pretty robust reporting system for afterwards. By the way, just to give him his moment in the sun, current fastest lap of the race is held by Johnny Ashley.
Was it because everybody sort of just had that crash at the beginning? And
no, just give him his moment.
I believe he's just done that on pure skill.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Jonathan Seville's stolen it now.
I want to see if Dylan Beeson's going to be flashing again, because it depends how long he's held up. Because Julian Bell can defend this position; it's absolutely his. And I don't know if he knows Jonathan Seville at all, and he wants to help his, their friend. He might want to help his friend out, but He's not a lapped car. He doesn't have to move.
He's
He can
flashing
defend
again.
this.
He's flashing again. I saw it flashing off the back
did
of
you?
Julian Bell there. And
Yeah.
there is one school of thought that Julian Bell, maybe could let him go because they're in different classes and there's no points difference. But all that's going to do is put JB into the arms of Chris Martin, Danny Chavez, and Lucas Veman, and then all of a sudden, James Suckling is right behind him, and that's not what he wants to do.
No, but he's not holding them up. They're pulling away from Chris Martin.
Oh, we've had a big incident
Chavez.
down here. We've had a big incident.
Somebody's got it all wrong. The caramel car's got it all wrong, facing sideways under the bridge, and that has caused a pile up. My screen's frozen. I don't know if we're going through a replay.
That's because we were going to a replay. Yep. So I'm trying to pick up the driver with the incident.
The Ukraine car's dropped it off the curb.
Yeah, this is the one that we're trying to watch. So Martin Thorpe, what happened to him? So it was one of the BMWs, and then it was just absolute carnage after that as they all try and find a way through. Alex Shahabi caught up in that as well, and we have got cars everywhere under the VP Racing bridge. There's a heavily damaged BMW. Martin Thorpe then gets hit again. There's no
way to bring out a safety car, is there?
No, there isn't. There isn't. So we are losing some cars here as a result. But Jonathan Seville stays out front. Julian Bell second.
He is a championship contender. He's second in the pro class. So this has blown the championship wide open, and it's effectively handed a championship almost certainly to Seville because all of his championship competitors are getting caught in these accidents. And I was just thinking about Julian Bell again. I hope Dylan Beeson still isn't flashing him because, as I was trying to say that before that happened, they're pulling away from Chris Martin and David Chavez and whoever else was there, and he's pulling a gap now on Dylan Beeson. I think Dylan Beeson he needs to calm himself down. And
Chavez off. So Daniel Chavez is off in the Porsche.
What is happening? They're dropping like flies. They've got an hour and a half to go yet, and they're dropping it in the first 5 minutes.
Yeah, this is a replay now, so we're going to see what happens to Daniel Chavez. My guess, just drops it on the dirt.
All dropping it, yeah. They're all just getting a wheel on the dirt.
It's all at Peg Leg Bend as well.
This is what we get for naming a corner after you. And he's having trouble controlling the car even. He's struggling to get a 180 done. Now, is that because it's not turning for him, is it? Is the car already damaged by that point?
That strikes me as red mist.
Just too much foot down. And
yes.
Yeah. So Miles Dixon's now got the fastest lap, which will be comforting. Jonathan Seville will see that on his head-up display. That'll be comforting for him because he'll know his teammates on the move and will hopefully be making up some places. Julian Bell's almost a second now ahead of Dylan Beeson, so I don't know if this is... Was that flashing again, or was that just the lighting?
No, that was just the light. I think Beeson is long way behind now, but look at that. That is Alex Shahabi in behind Beeson. That is Alex Shahabi a lap down on our leaders. So he's obviously been into the pits to repair some damage, and unfortunately for Alex, that was not within the pit window, so he will still have to do his mandatory stop later on in the race. But what a mess for Alex Shahabi. I may have cursed him tonight.
I don't feel... I feel bad for the stewards who are going to have to go through all of this footage, and they're going to be looking at the same accident from about 7 or 8 different cars' views and trying to work out who's to blame and who just got caught up at, who was collateral damage and who ploughed in and couldn't avoid the accident.
As we look at a battle through the midfield as Johnny gets a tap from Danny Chavez, who's
very
trying to recover.
David. Still the red mist, would you say?
Distinctly
to
possible.
Push his way by a damaged car, and Johnny Ashley, he thinks the car's still drivable. He's not diving into the pits, but there's some clumsy attempts to get by from David Chavez there. Again, Johnny Ashley, lower class, but absolutely doesn't have to move over. His car's not crabbing; it's still drivable, so he's not a danger on track.
No, and Daniel Chavez does make the move now through in to 22nd. Johnny, that's a lot of damage. What happened?
Martin Thorpe appeared from nowhere.
You were caught up in the under the bridge incident, were you?
Yeah. So
Yeah, Martin was getting hit like a pinball underneath the bridge, so I think he ended up in front of you after being hit by somebody else, because apart from that he was sat there quite happily holding his brakes, but then was just getting pinged around, unfortunately.
Heike van der Veen has apologised to me personally for calling that corner peg leg bend. And Pinky87 has said, "Evening, chaps."
Evening, Ian. How are you, sir? Looking forward to seeing...
Is he 87 years old, or was he born in 87?
I should imagine it's more likely that he was born in 87, and he is one of our GT4 drivers. So you would have been chatting about him on Tuesday night.
I would have. That was my first time actually watching. Ooh, somebody's cutting... Is that Figueroa Senior? Sort of cutting the corkscrew, making his own track, but he's going to get an off-track warning for that, and you can only do that 3 times. If you do it a 4th time, I believe you get sent through the pit lane.
Drive through, yeah, absolutely. Just looking at Jovan Kovacic there. Jovan, another one of the drivers to have switched their colour scheme tonight to a blue and yellow deal. So that's nice to see. Elliot 2063, thanks for the follow. I know there was a follow earlier that I didn't pick up on, so thank you for the follow anyway. It's just one of those moments where I was trying to do 8 things at once. Oh, yeah, as we see a spinner in the background, that is Rudolf Stein. And he's facing the wrong way, holding his brakes nicely, and now finding a safe way to turn around. But Rudolf just dropped it into the gravel, and round he went.
That's really catching people out, isn't it? We've not seen people spin out this often at the other circuits generally, apart from the evaluation race, which I assume they didn't take quite as seriously. But maybe it's this track because it's not grass, there's dirt.
Yeah, so and that's one of the tricky things with Laguna Seca, is that running off onto the what would normally be grass is very, very slippery out on that sandy, dirty kind of stuff that is out there. And once again, it was old Peggy Bend that was the problem.
With the track degrees, the track is 31 degrees Celsius. How likely is it that some drivers after these spins could find their tyres really overheating, and it's just meaning they're spinning round again?
Yeah,
that's me at Imola.
Yeah, it's very common that if you do that kind of stuff to your tyres once, then it's going to cause you further problems. Now that's Dylan Beeson getting past Julian Bell.
So I think wide.
Yeah, I think Bell had a moment there, so has now let Beeson go. So that'll please Beeson. He's now got some free air. But Julian has now got Alex Shahabi right behind him, so that's not for position, because Shahabi is a lap down after being involved in several incidents at the beginning. But you've also got Miles Dixon not too far behind all of this stuff. And look at that, Willie Black is up to 6th overall in the oNiD Racing Bentley. So Willie
could be the best race of the season for him. Jonathan Zville's pulled 8 seconds on Dylan Beeson. People could argue that Dylan Beeson, Beeson was held up by a silver driver. I would argue that Julian Bell didn't hold him up at all, and the only reason Beeson got past is that Julian had a slight off and he didn't fight for it coming back on track. But there was certainly more than a second between Julian Bell and Dylan Beeson, and it's a fantastic performance for a 15-year-old. You know, he's going to be doing his GCSEs next year, I suppose. Amazing.
Or whatever the equivalent is in Sweden.
His equivalent in Sweden, that's true.
Yeah, I know it's confusing because he's got a very English name, but I think he has got 1 English parent and 1 Swedish parent, so that will probably explain the very English name. But no, he's definitely Swedish, and he's definitely quick. Now, he may want to let Alex Shahabi go here, because Alex is super quick, and could actually let him go and follow him along, because Alex is getting very, very close to him now.
The blue flags are out for Alex Shahabi, though, in this case.
Yeah, they are. They're out for Alex to get out of Miles Dixon's way, but Shahabi won't want to do that. He'll want to plug on and move forwards. Alex will be looking to see whether he can unlap as many cars as possible. Because that will help him out in the long run. And then, Cammy, I would like to put an application in for a restraining order, if I could, against Rob the Ace.
Right?
Just look in the chat, that's a little concerning.
Ah.
Don't R him. That's creepy. Love you too, Rob.
He's confessing his feelings, and you just want to file a restraining order.
Ralph Vest looking a bit racy behind Van Oostenen as they head down into turn 1. But not quite close enough on this occasion. And that's Ben Brown closing up behind the pair of them, you have to say.
Now, did Ben Brown go in the pits to repair, or was he able to continue?
Nope.
Because we did see he went off.
Oh, he's right here. Let's ask him. Ben, no, pit or no pit?
Very much no pit.
Oh, there you go. But you were caught up in the T1 incident, I think?
Yeah, I don't know who took me out, but I spotted a gap and I went around the outside and got clipped. And I feel like I'm dragging my rear bumper around. That's how bad the damage is, but there's no point.
Try and have a look.
So.
Can't see anything.
It's
not getting a great view of it at the moment.
No, your rear bumper is firmly fixed in place, I'm afraid to say. But obviously feeling some damage in that car from what happened.
Yeah, your wing's straight.
Oh, the front doesn't look too tidy, though.
I've got 17 seconds, I think.
So it depends how much ACC sort of renders on that sort of thing.
So will you take 17 seconds worth of damage at the stop, or will you just plough on with it?
It depends. If I'll decide when I get to the... If it starts raining, I won't fix it. If it stays dry, then I probably will, because I feel like I'm losing a lot of pace.
Well, I think there's a lot of cars that have got a similar decision to make. We're just looking at Dirk Botha's BMW, and that is in a pretty poor state. 2 places ahead, Lasse Wiemann is in an even worse state. We know that Johnny Ash has got a heck of a lot of damage as well.
43 seconds, just
43 seconds, solid, nice.
Silvers are really benefiting from all that carnage at the start of the race. The pros are very spread out. Sorry, I've just had a free 4-hour drive home from Norwich, so I'm not as sparkly as I think I'm being. Yeah, they're very spread out, and this is played to the Silvers' advantage, where Julian Bell is in 3rd overall, William Black is in 6th overall, and Petr Jelinek is in 8th overall. Like 4 of the top 10 are Silvers.
I've just seen Rob's reply. He said,
"Yeah,
we'll see if this is the restraining order that sticks." Right? Yeah, that's not threatening at all, Rob. Mr. Greggles is with us. Hello, Greg. How are you doing, sir? And Pinky says, looking forward to racing in this next season. Greg gives a very direct instruction to you, Ben. He says, pull it back, Ben. Go, go, go. So that's your instruction. Go do it. And Heike van der Veen, I think you're right. This is going to be interesting post-stops.
Sorry, Julian Bell went off again. He just went a little bit wide, but he's managed, each time he's gone wide, he's been sensible. He's probably come off the gas, just let the car roll over the gravel, not spun it round. He's lost a couple plates. Well, he's let Alex Shahabi go by. Miles Dixon's taken that place, but Julian Bell, I hope he's not letting this fuss him or worry him. Willie Black is still at least for 15 seconds behind, 20 seconds I think behind, because Chris Martin's 5 seconds behind, and then it said Willie Black is 15 seconds behind Chris Martin. So Julian Bell's got this well in hand, as Miles Dixon is really getting close to back of Dylan Beeson, and he might be
runs off.
A bit of revenge. Yeah, Dylan Beeson we think was the one who took him out. He's holding the inside line, but Miles Dixon's round the outside. Alex Shahabi can get a bit involved now because he's probably not very happy with Miles Dixon as well.
Well, I'm still
with Dylan Beeson.
Yeah, I'm fairly certain it was Beeson that jumped across the inside into T1. It was certainly one of the SSR cars, unfortunately. But Beeson has managed to get back past, but then runs into the dirt again. Now this is Jovan Kovacic being lapped here by these guys. So Alex Shahabi passed him for position, actually. I'm not sure if he realises that. But Miles Dixon right up with Dylan Beeson. And like I've said before, Miles is not backwards in coming forwards when it comes to making a passing move.
What do you mean by that?
He's an aggressive overtaker, so he won't...
Oh yeah, he's really going for it, up to the corkscrew. Dylan Beeson went off at this sort of just after the corkscrew last lap, so will he be able to hold it on the line? Miles Dixon, a fantastic move.
Yeah,
Alex Shahabi got it all wrong. That's how not to do it. But Miles Dixon and Dylan Beeson's trying to come back at him, but Miles Dixon's got this in the bag, and Jonathan Seville's going to see the driver ladder update any minute and feel much better.
Puff of smoke from Dixon though as he locks up into the penultimate corner.
Losing his cool as he's now worried that he's going to watch this BMW drive away from him. And with that is last remaining hope of taking the championship, because, you know, he might have had the hope that Jonathan Seville could go off or something, but if his Miles Dixon's in front, it's going to make it all the harder for Dylan Beeson.
So this is a back marker. I think this is Luis Figueroa Senior, and they're trying to get past to Figueroa Senior, just kind of dangling it in the middle of the track there, and this puts Beeson a touch closer to Dixon once again. Julian Bell in the background gets through, but that McLaren is that bit closer to the BMW once again. So this one is not over for second, and there's certainly going to be some ill feeling from what happened at T1 right at the beginning of this race. But so far we saw a fantastic move by Dixon last time around, so I wonder whether Beeson has got anything in hand that he can send Dixon's way.
It's a great comeback drive, isn't it? I mean, Miles Dixon fell down to, it must have been 8th position or so.
Yeah, I think somewhere around that region. So, yeah, and now he's really starting to stretch his legs.
This is where Dylan Beeson went off a couple of laps ago. This is where he struggles, I think.
Yeah, and actually, if anything, Julian Bell closing back up on Dylan Beeson. Meanwhile, out front, Jonathan Seville is just romping away with this one. He's more than 10 seconds clear of the field now in that McLaren. He really avoided the worst of the incidents at turn 1. He did.
If I was Julian Bell, if I got close to Dylan Beeson, I'd start flashing my lights just in a retaliatory manner. So you want to do it to me, I'll gladly do it back to you.
Well,
because it was unnecessary for you to do it to me, and it's Julian Bell, keep it calm. He had an off, and the car got squirrely on him there, but he's kept it on the track.
It did. I have to say, I would be tempted to do the same in his position, because you know it's a case of, right, well, you were flashing me because you were holding me up, and we're not in the same class. Well, same thing now. But actually, right now he's making a few mistakes, so maybe he should just settle himself into a rhythm and just remember that his real race is with Willie Black and Dirk Botha, who is making some progress back up to 7th. So he's got to keep an eye on those silver cars not too far behind him.
Yeah, he just needs to follow these guys, and even if he just wants to let Alex Shahabi go by, just get into a rhythm, just follow these cars, and it's easy to follow somebody. You don't feel the pressure. It can be tricky if the car in front makes a mistake and you've been following them and copying them, and then you make the same mistake as well. I've done it, and it's a great defending technique as well. I've done it. If I know somebody's following me, there's a good chance they're fixated on my car, so I'll brake very late into a corner for no reason, where I'll barely keep it on the track, and I know the car behind's going to brake a fraction of a second later than me and put it in the gravel for a bit.
Yeah, I have to say, if I was Julian right now, I would probably let Shahabi go and then just try and stick to his bumper. Because he knows how quick he is. Now, Lasse Wiemann has had another off. He's also got an SG30. I think he's just been through the pits as well. So everything going wrong for the Swedish driver. Yeah, things not looking good for Lasse right now.
He's not going in the pit lane.
No, so he's going to have to serve it next time around. Dixon Hurst off as well on the exit of the corkscrew.
People are addicted to this dirt, aren't they? They love it. Heike van der Veen agrees he would do the same. I presume that's flashing the lights back.
Yes.
The meatballs aren't working now for Julian Bell. He needs some more.
Well, and Lasse Wiemann as well. As Johnny actually gets a punt from Miles Dixon. That was all a little bit unnecessary.
Johnny, watching the rearview mirrors there.
Watching mirrors don't matter. If they just want to come through, they'll come through. So doesn't matter how many times you tell them.
No. And that Cammy, is what I meant by Miles Dixon is not backwards in coming forwards.
He's not backwards in coming forwards. That's a phrase I've never heard in motorsport before. Did you make it up?
No, that is a phrase. Okay.
And Captain Sparks has said, Cammy, you managed to leave the region of the web feet web feet people.
I saw
Is
that earlier.
Norfolk? See, I would put that as well. I might give away. I don't know. I shouldn't slander.
You were
a
about
place
to say
like
Essex,
but-
weren't you?
No, I wasn't. But where I'm thinking isn't that far away from Essex.
You weren't going to say Suffolk, were you?
No. I wasn't going to say a county. Actually, I was going to say an area within a county. But no, I don't think Norfolk was
Oh no,
that
it's
way inclined. I thought
yeah, it's
Norfolk
quite
was
often
very
referred
pretty.
to like that. Yeah.
I thought Norfolk was very pretty. It's the first time I've in Norfolk when you're driving on the motorway.
Yeah, it's a very
and there's
attractive
the-
place. I think it's more the people that he was talking about.
Because there was, as I was driving, I noticed there were sort of telegraph poles and netting, and it must be for animals to get across the motorway by sort of scurrying up the sort of netted bridge. And we don't have that where I am. Norfolk cares for its animals, apparently.
Oh, Beeson runs wide again. So momentarily he was very, very
And
close.
Julian Bell's
Julian
slipping
Bell
through.
puts the move on.
Well deserved, though.
And where is Beeson
He's gone into the pit lane.
now?
The pit window isn't open yet.
Johnny, is the pit window open yet?
No, it's going to open in about 50 seconds, I believe.
So
Can
Dylan
he stay in
Beeson.
the pits? Can he?
No, it
He
has to
wouldn't like
be.
doing
It has
that.
to be when you enter the pits. The pit window has to be open. So Dylan Beeson might have just put himself right out of this race.
Is he in there? Because is he in there? Is he
No.
quitting out? Is he frustrated? I mean, he's running quite high up. It would seem silly to do that, and it seems like he's thrown his race away. Unless the car was just he was losing that much time.
Also,
But then
unfortunately,
you'd wait, wouldn't you?
well, you would, and also he was up in third. So if he's decided to quit out, then unfortunately that's one of those things that picks you up a fairly hefty set of points on your license.
Would that be carried over to a future series that he participated in, or because
Like-
it's the last race
yeah.
of the series, he can get away with it?
License points are retained for 12 months, isn't it, Johnny?
No, it's only for the season.
Oh, only for the season. See, just,
Oh, so
just
maybe he
goes to
does-
show what I know, doesn't it? Really.
It's the Laguna from Mahavir problem, where he did something on the final race of the season, and the penalty system worked. You know, it would apply it on the next race, and they'd never had a driver make so many errors as Mahavir Raghunathan. Josh Revel does a great video about him on YouTube. Check his video out. That's how I found out about. I think it's how a lot of people found out about Mahavir. But yeah, they had to rewrite the F2 rulebook because they never had a driver make do something wrong on the final race. And they're like, well, we can't penalise him.
Julian Bell this time has let Alex Shahabi go. I think JB just ran a little bit wide, and Alex saw his opportunity and squeezes through. So JB's now got a nice bit of space just to settle in, and the pit window is now open. So let's just go check in on.
So is he thinking he can sit there and? But that would make sense. Sit there for 50 seconds.
No, he's back
You'd
out
think
on
if
the
you-
track anyway. So I assume
He's
he's
down
probably
19.
now recognised his error, because he's back out on the track and he's still showing us one pit stop required. So just as we said, that wouldn't count as his stop. So
And he's gone wide again. He's really
Yes.
not liking those last corners of the track. As Peter Jelinek now heads into the pits. Johnny Ashley is in the pits. Johnny, we can't see a pit crew. Are they there?
Yeah, they're on my screen, mate. Yeah,
I know, I'm teasing.
I'm still sitting here for 30 seconds. They're currently trying to mend my broken car.
Ben's come to join you as well. So Ben, are you taking the repair?
I've returned to garage, so you can about summarise what just happened.
Oh no!
Oh, what did happen?
I
The car
have-
looks okay.
I have no idea. The steering was balked. Me and Alex somehow touched, and I have no idea how. Parking, I have no idea.
Was the car crabbing then? As you couldn't drive?
Oh
straight
yeah,
line?
yeah. I couldn't even steer.
How long would that? Oh, I guess too long to fix.
And I'm on the start. I was on the start-finish straight, so I'm not going to go around the entire lap and get in someone's way when I'm basically out anyway. So
Yeah, Alex
Oh,
Parkin
now
then.
wait for the timer.
Yeah, Alex
I think
Parkin then
Alex
managed
got
to
a similar. Yeah, I think he might have damage too.
Put it in the wall.
He managed to drop it into the wall. And we're actually now seeing Shane Waters, because he's had a little run off track as well. So, yeah.
Sole NSX driver in the race in the
So-
series.
So Ben, is it really, really tricky out there, or has everyone just forgotten how to drive tonight? Because there's mistakes left, right, and centre.
I think it's a Laguna thing. I think Laguna's very difficult to stay consistent. I think me and Johnny have done a couple of Laguna races before together, and we've always seen the same thing throughout the field. It's very, very difficult to stay consistently quick. It's
Jane
just a
was
difficult
getting
track.
wobbly there. Yeah, even though the track's optimum, we were just watching Jane get really wobbly out of corners 3 and 4, I think. And that's where a lot of people seem to be dropping it. And at peg leg curve, is it we're calling it?
Yes.
Peg leg bend.
Peg leg bend, yes.
But this isn't. It's not like these drivers haven't been to Laguna Seca before. They know what Laguna Seca's like. So, is it not a sense of I know this is a tricky track. I should back off because it's an hour and a half race.
It's not a very common track to be used in ACC. I think is fair to say.
Okay.
You know, certainly not used as often as the likes of Spa or you know, Mazzano or Monza or anywhere like that. As we see Stain go to the outside of Sam Roughton, Sam sticks on his line, and so that move is not done quite yet, but I think as they head over the crest and down towards turn 1,
Sam's having a very good race. He's up into 11th place and leading AM class.
So Stain tries to go round the outside at the Andretti hairpin, but
nearly got it done.
Nearly did, and he's at the inside into T2. Not
I think
T2,
Sam Roughton
T4.
just let that go.
Yes.
I think Sam Roughton just thought, okay, if you're going to have something like this, if 11th place is so important to you, take it.
Now, Johnny, a moment ago, I heard you angrily shouting the word patience. You having fun out there?
Yeah, pro driver things, it's okay. They just show no patience.
If only you were in charge of the community so you could sort them out, eh?
I'll just start handing out bans, I reckon.
Well, not too many. We don't want to dip back below the 1,000.
Alex Shahabi's just having a calm race. He's just happy to sit behind Miles Dixon, it looks like. Somebody going off there is one of the Ferraris who are running near the bay. It wasn't Jackson, was it, in the blue and yellow Ferrari? It's not Jackson. I don't know if he's running a Ukraine theme as well.
I think we've got quite a few doing that tonight. Yes, it is Graham Jackson. So yeah, old Dog Juice running the blue and yellow tonight as well. It's really nice to see the number of drivers doing that.
The others didn't. The others picked a sort of purpley blue.
Yeah,
He's picked the right blue. Yeah,
I wonder how many. Johnny, I'm not sure whether your yellow's quite right. It's quite dark. But yeah,
your heart
ever the critic.
Well, I've been to art university. I had to do art critique and everything. So
yeah, that's from you. I'd accept it.
Yeah,
all right then.
It was me.
He's like, I'd take that shit from Cammy, but not Adam. Where does Adam get off telling me that?
Sure, I shall not continue doing any of your graphics work for you then, Johnny. That's absolutely fine.
Floyd the One. Yes, this game is Assetto Corsa Competizione, which means race trim competition in English. It's one of the most realistic GT3 and GT4 race simulators out there, even more realistic than Gran Turismo. It is available on PS4, PS5, and PC. Is it on Xbox?
Yes.
Yep.
And
it is on Xbox.
And it's just launched on Xbox Series X and S things.
If you've got something other than a Switch, you're fine.
Yeah. Or
It's
well,
not ever going to be on Switch.
Not sure it's on Game Boy.
Maybe you can get like a predecessor of it.
I'd like to see
the old
it on
8-bit, 16-bit racing games. Weren't they glorious?
Yes, they were. Yeah, they really were. We see Dylan Beeson just trying to make up a few places in the midfield. I'm still baffled as to why he decided to pit when he did, but maybe he just wants a battle with Alex Shahabi, because look, Alex Shahabi's only 15 seconds behind him now.
It's work that he didn't need to do. It's
very strange.
One. We'll look forward to finding out from him why he did it.
Martin Thorpe is directly behind him, but Martin is even further behind, I think. We've got a mixture of cars all over the place in terms of their position right now. Martin Thorpe is 28th at the moment and really only ahead of our retirees. So yeah, he is well out of position as well, as we see Shane Watts getting out of the way of a few people. And look at this, Willie Black is up to 5th overall now,
And that's purely on merit. There's nobody in front that... It's not like he's pitted and other people haven't. They all haven't pitted, so they're all kind of equal in that respect. It's not like, oh, I haven't pitted and everybody else has, so that's how I've leapt my way up to the top. So, very impressive stuff. Julian Bell still leading. He's 2 seconds ahead of Chris Martin. As we're back with Dylan Beeson, we've got quite addicted to watching Dylan Beeson, aren't we?
Well, we were just seeing, I think Dylan Beeson just got himself past Tom Stocks and up into 13th overall. Tom, another one of the drivers running the yellow and blue livery tonight. So
It's his usual colours, isn't it?
No, he's
no,
not. He's not running his Alpine livery tonight. He's running the yellow and blue.
Nice.
Yeah, so quite a few out there. Just to check in back at the front, Jonathan Seville is still there, and the gap has come down ever so slightly. It's come down by about a second over the last 5 or 6 laps, as we see a yellow flag for Johnny Ashley. Johnny, what did you do?
Hit the sausage!
Johnny, what are you doing?
Beaucoup de sausage, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everyone loved it.
La saucisson. Yeah, exactly.
That was very French.
Wow, that's incredibly xenophobic. I didn't put a language, I didn't put a country on that at all. And you,
Cammy, you sounded like you were an extra from the Pink Panther.
I haven't watched the modern remake with what's his name. I just remember the original.
Boom.
Good morning. No, that's not so.
No, that's a lower low.
That's a low. Same sort of French accent.
I think we've just seen. This is Chavez and Van Oosenen, by the way. They're having a bit of a ding dong. 2 different classes, but still, it's for 7th overall. Chavez has been on and off this evening, so has good pace when he's on track for a whole lap. But quite a few mistakes in that Porsche tonight. Maybe it's a bit tricky to drive. So Ben, have you stayed with us? Are you gonna be part of our team for the evening now?
I am now part of the team for the evening, yes.
Great. So are you watching
So far behind.
I'm going to hand you Comms 2 job for a moment. I'm going to make a second cup of tea. I, as I said, I had a long drive and my eyes are hurting a bit. So I'm just going to get a cup of tea. You can take over, Ben.
Yes, no problem.
As we see Chavez drop it off track again, and Van Oosenen has got past. So pretty much what I was just saying. So in terms of the drivers that have taken their pit stops, Ralph Fest, I think, is the first one of those who has, down in 21st. But Ben, I guess a lot of drivers deciding to go a bit longer. It's a fairly short pit window for an hour-and-a-half race.
Yeah, and I think people might be wary that it might rain, and so just try and stay out as long as possible, so we're not seeing many people pit early. It looks like a lot of people have been counting quite a bit of fuel tonight. So, like you say, usually we have a kind of mixture, don't we? But it does look like people are pushing longer into the stint just in case.
Yeah, I mean, weather-wise, we started off pretty overcast with an optimum track. It's now a little bit of sun peeping out, although the sun is starting to go down. But right now, no sign of the weather deteriorating too much, but you never know.
No, who knows? It might. It's a sim, so rain can happen at any time.
I don't know whether I've actually ever seen real-life footage of a wet Laguna Seca, but it must happen at times.
I'm sure it's happened at some point. I don't know, but we should. It's a shame we don't have a D-Stack about this afternoon or this evening, because I'm sure he'd be able to inform us that it never rains at Laguna Seca.
We could always try summoning him by saying Watkins Glen, Watkins Glen, Watkins Glen, and seeing if he pops up. If he does, it's always entertaining. But Sam Roughton's having a really good night, up in 12th overall now.
Yeah, and he's also right on the back of Van Ruyen as well. So I know that's not for position, like in class, but no, he's showing some really good pace. What is his his fastest laps in the 25, so he's right in there with the kind of silver pace, which is kind of 24s to 25s.
Yeah, and the confidence there to make sure that Figueroa Senior gets out of the way. I can only assume this is quite a Ferrari Formula One themed BMW with the red and black, but it does look pretty strong. Is that one of yours?
No, that's not one of mine. That is, I guess Sam's created it, or he's got it from somewhere. But yeah, that's not one of mine. I do like it though.
Yeah.
It's very F1, isn't it? With the it's got the Ferrari sponsors on there as well. So
Yep.
Is that kind of sacrilege having a Ferrari livery on a BMW?
To a die-hard Ferrari fan, yes.
They wouldn't be liking that.
But to me, no, it looks nice. So I'm okay with that. Let's just see. So are you watching my stream, or are you watching the race from within the server?
I'm watching your stream, or I will be in a second. I'm just kind of moving myself around out of the seat because I'd rather go and sit in my comfier seat, to be honest.
I don't blame you. I've just seen Dylan Beeson have a run off into the dirt, and he's now actually had to let Jonathan Seville put a lap on him. So I don't know if you picked up on this earlier, Ben, but Dylan Beeson decided to pit really, really early, but it was before the pit window. So he was third at the time and has effectively putting himself right out of contention. But he's still carrying on, which is something we like to see, as we see Shane Watts in the dirt. So Shane having a really rough night. It seems every time I've switched to him tonight, he has been in the dirt somewhere. So maybe.
Well, I can tell you from experience that the NSX, while pretty good here, is a little bit of a handful. So he's been doing well though, because obviously he's the only NSX on the field, and it's not one of the kind of deemed stronger cars. So absolute rocket on the straight lines here. So yeah, he was doing really well because I was following him for a while. So
got to say, I'm impressed with JB tonight. He's he got lucky at the beginning and found a route through all the carnage, but actually pace wise, he's still only 1.3 seconds off the back of Miles Dixon, who, yes, Miles has got a damaged BMW, but we also know just how quick Miles is. And Miles is capable of running laps down in the 23s like Seville, and JB's running in the low 24s. So it's an impressive performance from him this evening, and actually closing up a little bit on Miles Dixon at the moment.
yeah, definitely. I think Miles will be happy given all the problems that he's had this race. Obviously, kind of getting involved in the lap one instance, etc. But he's sat in second, and yeah, Julian's doing really well in third. And also a big shout out for Chris as well. It's Chris, isn't it, fourth?
Yes.
I think this would be his best result of the season. So and he hasn't exactly had an easy ride of it. I think he's got caught up in a few of those issues as well. So he's doing a really good job there in fourth.
And then I suppose we have to give some sort of credit to this man as well. I mean,
no.
We don't really want to, but Willie Black being up in fifth, that's quite impressive, I suppose.
I'm back.
Welcome back.
You didn't notice the chat. No.
It doesn't count if you say it, you know. But nice to know you're popular with yourself.
Love myself.
Ready?
Hey.
Easy.
Anyway, I'll let you continue. I'm just getting a mouth forward tea.
Very good. Yeah. So, like you say, Chris Martin having a really strong night. And how dark is it going to get before the end of this race? Do we think?
I think sun sets 7:30. So is it 7:30 or something like that here? So it's going to get very dark. I think the sun will have come down nicely. I think it'll be quite similar to Imola on Thursday, where it got kind of gloomy, didn't it, at the end of the race?
Yeah, not. It wasn't fully dark, was it? That was Alex Depper having a spin out of turn 6. Petr Jelinek has just moved up past Danny Medina, by the way. So Danny Medina dropping down to 22nd. But that's because he's in the pits, which makes a lot of sense. Jonathan Seville, relentless. Julian Bell has got himself past Miles Dixon. So I wonder if Miles has had a bit of a moment somewhere, but Julian Bell up into 2nd overall now. So that really helps solidify his first place in silver.
Has that happened? How was Miles Dixon? Didn't look like he had a damaged car at all.
Oh, Miles has got a very
has he?
damaged car, but that's all from T1. But I guess that does make it a little tricky to keep on the track at times. So maybe not hugely surprising that Miles has had a little run off.
Well, he knows Julian Bell's no threat to Jonathan Seville in terms of, they're not in the same class, so it's not as if Julian Bell can catch up and outscore Jonathan Seville and wreck his championship. I mean, he could go up and take him out of the race, but I very much doubt he's going to do that.
No, and to be honest, I don't think he's got the pace to catch Seville. Seville is 14 seconds clear of Bell, or 13 and a half.
And we are just reaching the halfway point.
We are indeed. Heike van der Veen said, "Give me Cammy now." So you have got one fan out there.
I have lots. They're just die.
Rob the Ace says, "Congrats to JB on the class promotion." Couldn't agree more. And Captain Spark says, "Send Cammy back to the web to people of Norfolk." Jesus.
I bet he's popular at Snetterton.
Dear oh dear. So that is one of the SSR cars moving out of JB's way.
Oh, I thought that was Miles Dixon for a moment.
So Dirk Botha has jumped into the pits. So we see Van Oosenen, Chavez and Eckett just move up a spot right now. Let's go check in on some of the oNiD boys. Let's have a look. Tom Stocks here is running 12th, which I think is a pretty good position for him to be in right now. Obviously, pit stops have started, so some of this is shaking up a little bit, but Tom having a pretty solid night. So I think, Ben, you might have been right by saying that the Bentley's a pretty good race car tonight.
Yeah, I think it seems relatively safe race car, which I think around here, by the look of it tonight, is a very quick race car. Getting to the end of the race as quickly as possible. So, yep, they're looking good. Tom there, and obviously you've got Willie and Van Oosenen as well up in 5th and 6th. So the Bentley's definitely doing a good job.
Yeah, and obviously we would have seen Alex Shahabi having a better night had it not been for what happened on the first few laps for Alex. Alex is now up in
Hungarian
13th.
bowling pin sort of incident.
Wasn't it? Yeah. As we see some dirt being kicked up on the way up.
Heike van der Veen. He said, "I swear I'm not getting paid to say gimme Cammy now." But Heike van der Veen, I'll be here all night if you want. Yeah, just for you.
There you go, Heike. There's an offer you can't refuse.
oNiD only funds incoming.
Captain Spark says it's funny because I'm a Scot in Suffolk, so that will explain why you've got these impressions of the Norfolkians. Absolutely. Black Impulse is asking, are only oNiD going with blue and yellow? No, there are a few other drivers out there as well. Some of them, unfortunately, we've already lost. Like Jovan Kovacic, he was running yellow and blue as well. There's a couple of others out there, but yeah, quite a few, which is really nice to see.
Really is. Alex Shahabi, he's not doing bad. I mean, he's back up to 11th. He's still got to pit though, but it could have been a lot worse. He's worked his way quietly back up to the front. Nearing the front, nearly getting back into the top 10. So he's back in the points though.
Grant Eckett, the only man repping the Lexus tonight. Of course, there would have been two Lexi, if that's the plural of Lexus. I don't know. There would have been two of them in the series, but the other one was going to be driven by a buffoon who fell off a curb.
he fell off. Is that how you're describing it? He fell off the curb.
I slipped off the curb, but I'm still a buffoon. Yes.
Oh, so I was thinking in the context of driving and a car falling off the curb.
No. What I'm saying is there would have been another Lexus in the series because that's what I'd signed up in. But then
how is that? How's that to drive?
Really nice, actually. It's stable, pretty quick in a straight line. It can snap on you at times, but I quite liked it. It had quite a nice positive front end to it, but no tow bar. That's the only problem.
Yeah, well, Jonathan Seville is at the front end of this race, and he's going very well. He's not putting a foot wrong. He's just able to race out on his own. Is that Dylan Beeson behind him, a lap down?
Yes,
or is that one of his? It is. Oh, so Dylan Beeson imagined he'd be this close, but probably thought they'd be on the same lap.
I love how you just completely ignored the tow bar comment and was just like, no, I know he's nuts now, so I'm not even gonna question it. We're about to see.
I wasn't sure what you were referring to.
Well, exactly. We're about to see this man, I think, drop it into the wall. Yes, we are. That's Van Rooyen Van ruining his car. To be honest,
he's here all night.
Unfortunately, so yes.
Don't forget to pay your waitress.
Yeah, no, that's a pretty messed up looking BMW, unfortunately.
I gotta say, I've never been a fan of the new BMW styling. Brands Hatch just replaced all their M4s with the new M4. I'm so glad I learned in the prior model. It's just a much better looking car, I think.
Daniel Chavez has picked himself up an SG30, so that must have been through the pit stops. So Chavez really having a difficult night.
Black Impulse in the chat is immediately like, this nice BMW. With what game is that? It's Binding of Isaac emoji, which is a great little game. He did a Heidi, says Heike van der Veen.
Heike also says, by the way, Watkins Glen takes a lot of time to get here. I get the impression that Mr. Stack is not around tonight, which is why he's not racing and why he's not responded to Watkins Glen.
It's a fantastic racetrack though, Watkins Glen. One of my favourites on iRacing.
I don't know if it works now. We've said it 4 times in a row. He normally only responds to 3 times in a row. Julian Bell takes the lead, by the way, because Jonathan Seville, our real race leader, is in the pits. A moment in the sun for JB.
Yeah, moment in the sun. I was going to say, he probably won't lap Dylan Beeson, but I suppose if Dylan Beeson did his mandatory pit stop first, Julian Bell would actually have a chance of lapping the guy who was flashing him earlier.
And as we see, I think it's Dirk Botha who is there trying to recover at the corkscrew, just looking for a gap to come back on. That was not a gap to come back on, but they get away with that.
I guess it's hard to look up the crest of the hill and see who's coming, and you just sort of have to. Although they should have a little
your track map does a good enough job. Yeah.
So
what did you think, Ben? That was a bit risky, wasn't it?
I think that's safe to say that wasn't really the space. Let's leave it like that.
Hiker's having another go at summoning the stack by saying Porsche. That's a good shout. That one might just do it. Talking of moments in the sun, Chris Martin takes the lead now. So it's not just filling stadium tours around the world. This man is also now leading a race around Laguna Seca.
How's he got the lead? Because it doesn't say Julian Bell's pitted. Oh, he is in the pits. He is in the pits.
Julian Bell's in the pits as we speak. So another moment in the sun is the fact that Willie Black is 2nd overall at the moment.
And he could take the lead as well if Chris Martin pits beforehand. So a nice moment in some. As long as they all remember to pit. We did have a race or two where some drivers, especially in Suzuka, where the first 2 across the line had forgotten to pit and were immediately smacked with 130-second penalties. So that was a bit anticlimactic, wasn't it? It's like, and our winner isn't that guy, and our winner isn't that guy either. Our winner is, and was it Martin Thorpe?
Yes, I believe it was. Yeah.
Yes.
We're just looking here because Grant Eckett has got Dirk Botha right behind him, and that is for position in class. So these two just coming through the final corner. Eckett runs a little wide.
When you look behind you in the rearview mirror and see the car behind you's got a damaged front, and you're like, oh god, they've been hitting things. Don't hit me.
Well, Dirk has had a few moments tonight, but Grant knows how to defend. Does it well down into turn one. It's a nice shade of red he's got on that Lexus.
It is, and it sort of helps his. Does he have a sort of matte finish on the car?
Yes, he does, and it looks well. Yeah, I'm not normally a huge fan of pretty much single colour cars, but actually that one looks well. I like it.
Have you seen the new Alfa Romeo livery?
Yeah, quite like it actually.
That's the first livery where I've looked at it and thought that looks like the concepts that designers come up with and post on Twitter.
I know what you mean. Yeah.
Where it's got this dynamic cut across the bodywork, where it's like red, and they've got the old Alfa Romeo sort of font. And it's just such a gorgeous car. Boss says it's great. If it goes as well as it looks,
I fear it won't. Unfortunately,
I want Sauber to do well. Sauber, they're a quintessential underdog of Formula One, and they've been in it for so long, and they've never been sort of as slow or bad as Minardi, but I think they've always deserved more than they've got, and they got so close with Kubica driving for them, didn't they?
Don't you pick on Minardi? Minardi was
I love Minardi,
quality.
but you can't deny they were slower than Sauber.
Johnny's flashing his lights. What's going on, Johnny? Why are you angry?
Just people not being patient and dive bombing. It's like Mancy's here.
I wonder if we say dive bomb 3 times if Mancy rocks up. But, yeah.
No, that'd be Verstappen that shows up.
And Johnny is now looking in his mirrors because Alex Parkin is not too far behind. Roth7 QRT, I hope I've got that right. Thanks for the follow. Much appreciated. So Heike van der Veen was asking how Crashley was doing, and Crashley's doing 26th.
Bo Lambert says, "Hi, I'm back."
Oh, well
in
done.
That voice.
Well done. Ben's with the
good.
exclamation mark dive bomb, which brings up the Mancy special, which is great stuff. Mancy's here. We said dive bomb 3 times, and he pitched up.
It worked. And Roth7 says, "Gents, how we doing?" I don't identify as a gent, even though my voice does sound a bit like it, but we're doing well.
And I identify as male, but certainly not as a gent. So, as Chris Martin takes the pick, but we are good, thank you. And it's great to have you along, Roth7 QRT. What a name that is as well. So Chris Martin has dived for the pits. Now the question is, will Willie pit this time round, or will he go for his moment in the sun? No, he wants some sunshine. Any moment now, you're about to see William Black take the lead over all of this race with 34 minutes to go. Now, Willie was one of the drivers who was excluded at Suzuka for not taking his pit stop. So let's hope that the Irishman doesn't make the same mistake twice.
No, let's hope. But I hope Willie Black's girlfriend's watching as well, because now she's watching her fiance lead the race. And I know it's esports, but the same skills go into sim racing as they do real racing. So
that would imply that Willie's got some skills.
Willie does have skills.
Ben, Johnny, thoughts?
No comment.
No comment.
Okay, good.
You're knobs to each other.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah,
Pretty much.
Welcome to oNiD.
What have I got myself into?
You probably don't want to know, actually.
The broship.
Yeah. No, that does come at times. I promise you. So yeah, Willie Black in the lead is a moment in history.
Take your time.
Sorry, I was just being shown something here, and it distracted me slightly because it was very good. But Willie Black has had his moment, and he is into the pits now. Yeah, Cammy, who's going to take the lead?
Probably Jonathan Seville, I suppose. There he goes. I think he's just gone through, leading onto lap 40 with 32 minutes to go. Did you just drop a bin or something?
No, I just I knocked my Xbox controller over because that's all I can drive with these days.
Yeah. Anyway, Willie Back is in the pits. Dylan Beeson still has the pit, but is 30 seconds behind. And then it's Dog Juice Jackson, Vimen, and Figueroa Senior who still have to pit. There may be a few more drivers who are lower than 23rd, but we can't see that far down at the moment. And frankly, it's not going to affect the points of the race.
Well, you can now, and there is nobody beyond Figueroa Senior who needs to pit. So let's see where there's. Oh, so let's go to Eckett and Botha.
Well,
Sorry,
Chris
Ben.
has just got a drive-through in fourth.
Oh yeah, Chris Martin with the drive-through.
I was gonna say that Julian was in front of Miles and was in front of Chris and is now behind them. And I'm not sure how that happened because it's quite a big gap as well. But I think Chris has just got a track limits, so that's going to knock him back. He might be okay because Alex is a long way back, so he might still hold on to fourth in class.
Yeah, Chris was actually just coming out of the pits then, I think. So.
Oh no, it might be the speeding.
Yeah, so I think it's a speeding one. Obviously, JB should move ahead of Beeson when he pits. Although I have a horrible feeling that Dylan Beeson is going to try and run this one to the end and then claim to the stewards that he pitted at the right time.
Well, as I'm sure Johnny won't mind me saying that. If he does that, it's not going to matter because his pit stop wasn't in the window. So
True.
he was in the pits when the window opened, but that doesn't count. It has to be when you enter the pits, and so I don't know whether he's just trying his hand there. He's up to third at the moment, but Dylan. I may be wrong, and Dylan might jump into the pits any moment, but it just feels like he might be trying that strat. As we see Dirk Botha getting very, very close to Grant Eckett now as they come up and over the hill through turn one. And
a little bit worried for Grant Eckett.
And it is a big punt. That's a huge punt.
I was right to be worried. Dirk Botha, what was that?
Wow.
You know you're coming up to hard braking area. You're right behind another car. You brake a little bit earlier.
This is the replay. So
I think that's pretty bad.
So we're going to watch it from this point of view as they come up and over the hill. So both are in the BMW behind the Lexus of Eckett. And as they come down to the braking zone for T1, that's pretty cut and dry, and Eckett's going to have a lot of damage from that one, unfortunately. Ben, what was your thoughts?
I just think Dirk was just got himself in a position where he couldn't really see the boards on the right, and that was the result. He just missed his braking point. By the look of it, the Lexus was on the brakes at around between the 3 and 4 board, which is about right for Grant there. So I think it's just a miscalculation on the brakes.
And of course, it's one of those. This one always frustrates me. But when you are the car in front, and you are defending, automatically you sort of just brake a tiny bit earlier anyway, because you want to make sure that you make the apex and things like that. And so often drivers that are trying to make a move from behind don't quite catch that.
It sounds like you're blaming the victim.
No, absolutely not.
But if he didn't want to be hit from behind, he shouldn't have braked a fraction of a second earlier.
What I'm saying is that the driver from behind should recognise that the driver defending is probably going to be on the brakes a little bit earlier, and therefore needs to anticipate that. That's
I just tend to coast. I just tend to come off the gas and coast a little bit. If you're not going to lose that much ground that it's going to stop you overtaking.
No,
but it's just an insurance to not go up their arse.
This, by the way, is that's a back marker making contact with Van Oosenen, but this is a legitimate battle here for second in silver between Willie Black and Wilbert Van Oosenen. So the two Bentleys right together. So this is for 5th overall and second in class. So Van Oosenen looking to find a way past, and wow, a big save.
Code Brown moment there. That's the best save we've seen. Everybody else tends to drop it. Whoa, I thought that Ferrari was going to go up the back of him then, but I think it was just an optical illusion slightly, or me just being silly.
Well, Chris Martin is looking to try and get himself back past these two as well.
Well done, Medina, by the way, keeping out of the way, being laps.
Yeah.
That's the best backmarker we've seen.
So Willie Black, what is it? What do you call it, Johnny? Willie Black, the Minister of Defence.
Yeah, the Ministry of Defence. Yeah.
Yep. So
Willie Black's Ministry of Defence is the full term.
And he's doing it again. He's right in front of Van Oostenen and took that nice middle line down towards the Andretti hairpin. But let's hope nothing happens here, because they are coming up to Pegleg Bend now.
Now, Van Oostenen does need to clear Willie Black and make his way up to Julian Bell, because he needs the 50 points if he's going to snatch the title from James Suckling. James Suckling is he out of the race? Is he one of our retirees?
He's 29th, so he's still in the race, but he's 29th and last.
But there's no points in that for him.
No,
there will be
Wilbert
a few.
Van Oostenen,
well, there'll be a few, yes, but nothing significant.
But Wilbert Van Oostenen will get 50 points, and that would put him 4 points clear of James Suckling. So James Suckling would need to score more than 4 points.
Realistically,
if Van Oostenen can pass Bell.
Yeah, well, Van Oostenen might get past Willie Black, but Julian Bell is, and we're about to find out how far ahead of Willie Black he is, but it's a significant amount. It is 19 seconds.
I mean, it could.
Gap.
Anything can happen. There's still 25 minutes to go. Anything can happen.
That's true. That's true.
And it usually does.
What was it Murray used to say? F1 is if backwards. Which it isn't, and this isn't F1 either, but, there we go. Jacques Morel is with us. Good evening, Jacques. Hope you're good, sir. He says...
is he the delicate flower?
He says, what's going on with AM class? The title chase is close.
That might be the wrong Jack.
Yeah, could be.
I'm thinking of Rob Jacks, I think.
Oh yeah, Rob Jacks. Yeah, that's a very different person. Rob Jacks is the one who I was trying to get the restraining order on earlier. There's a few chats going on about Silverstone, and apparently
we got to talk about AM class. Sam Relton.
That was the Honda. Who's in the Honda again?
What?
It was yeah, so I think he was trying to unlap himself and almost took Van Oostenen out in the process, but thankfully not too much harm, not too much foul. So yeah, we need to look at the AM class. Sam Relton is looking pretty good for this race. But how does that stack up in the championship?
Oh, well, I'm not sure I'm going to be able to find out that quickly. I'll have to come back to you later on that one.
Yeah, well, Sam Relton is leading the race. Alex Depper second. Dixon Hurst is third. Then Graham Jackson fourth. Then you've got David Oller and Danny Medina next up.
Now, there's only 7 points between winning and second place. And there's a lot more than 7 points between Alex Depper and Sam Relton in the championship. It is 28 points separates them. So for Sam Relton to need to win the championship, he needs Alex Depper to go off the track, crash, need to pit, and drop 5 or 6 places, at least. Yeah, he needs to drop at least 5 places.
Like you say, anything can happen, and it usually does. Now then, so Beeson did take his stop. Good to see. So Beeson did take his stop, and he's come out in 11th. We're currently picking up on Alex Shahabi.
He's back up to 9th.
He's back up to 9th, yeah. So Alex doing... Alex has done a really good job, actually, considering he's been through the pits twice, been punted off the track twice, had to fix some damage once, had to sit behind some slower cars earlier on. For him to be up in 9th, I think is a really good patient recovery performance. Ben, how difficult is it for a driver that's had a situation like that to refocus, put the laps in, and get yourself back up like Mr. Shahabi has?
Good chat.
I can't do an impression of Ben to make it sound like I
Ben's
can see it.
answering. No.
Ben's actually not here anymore, so that's why he's not responding. So,
He's scarpered.
so Johnny, how you heard the question?
I did. Well, considering I'm on a bit of a recovery drive myself, it can get very lonely, and your concentration can go really early doors. So for him to do all that and still be battling top 10 is pretty incredible, to be fair.
Well, you've had a tricky one tonight as well, but you have got yourself back up to 22nd. So that's a pretty good return as well. A shout at getting any more places before the end, do you reckon?
I don't think so. I've got my back. I think I'm back up to where I qualified. So I'm kind of happy with that, considering I had a lot of damage. I lost, I had to go a good 20 minutes with lots of damage. So, although I have got Mr. Parkin just in front of me, and he seems to be struggling. So I don't know whether I'll be able to maybe fight that for 21st, which should be I know he's a pro, but he won't mind. He likes the battles.
Yeah, he's not exactly fighting for big points in pro tonight. He's had a few issues to deal with as well. So, your personal fan club, Johnny Hiker Van der Veen, says, "Don't do yourself short, Johnny. It's another 20 minutes to go, mate."
I love Hiker, bless him.
I think we all do. Somebody else that we really like is Ralph Fest, but he has just had a moment. So we're going to pick up a replay here as he comes out of the corkscrew, runs wide into the gravel, and gets collected by, I think that's Tom Stocks. No, I think that's Tom Stocks. Yeah, it's confusing because both Alex and Tom have got the yellow and blue Bentleys.
Oh, and then he spun it again.
Unfortunate. He gets... yeah.
Involuntary sounds.
Yes, many.
I must, can I share a brief story that's just developed on my Etsy page? Because, as you know, I have a motorsport print store where I sell my motorsport illustrations. And somebody messaged me saying, "Hi." I'll go, "Okay, hello." And they go, "I own different shop that I don't think exists. We want to sell phone cases with Formula 1 art on it. Now we are looking for someone who can make this kind of art for us. Can you make this?" And they showed me a picture of somebody else's art. I said, "Well, that's someone else's art." They just said, "Yeah, I use that as an example. Can you make it?" And I just said, "Well, I can put my own art on phone cases myself if I want to."
Yeah.
Like, what? I just didn't get it. Like, approaching an artist and going, "Can we buy your art to stick on stuff so we can sell it?" No.
Basically.
And then they said, "What are the prices for making the art?" And I said, "Oh, it's £250 for a commission, but that's a commission for somebody to have in their house, not for somebody to reproduce on phone cases." I just thought it was really bizarre. Is that Bentley floating?
We had 3 floaty cars then, so I'm guessing there must have been a bit of a connection-y moment-y. But these 3 still pretty close together: Willie Black, Wilbert Van Oosenen and Chris Martin. So Chris hasn't found his way past these guys, but doesn't really need to. He's not going to catch Miles Dixon. And what Chris Martin is actually looking at here, if he plays his cards right, Chris Martin is looking at a 3rd in class, a podium in pro, which would be really, really solid for him. So, Chris, you're better off just sitting there.
That would be his best result. He's not had any wins. I don't think he's had any podiums, and he is in 9th in the title at the moment with 100 points.
He's really kept himself out of trouble tonight, and that's paid dividends.
It has.
So, yeah, and when you actually look at it, incredibly, Alex Shahabi is currently on for 4th in class. I mean, that puts into perspective the kind of drive that he has put in tonight.
So he's going to leapfrog. Sorry, he's going to leapfrog Mancy. He's going to leapfrog Kelly in the championship. He may even still. No, he won't leapfrog Dylan Beeson, because Dylan Beeson, as much as he sort of did mess things up in this race, he has sort of made a bit of a comeback, and he is in 10th and 5th in class. So damage limitation.
Certainly is. We see Dirk Botha with a white flag, so I think he must have just had a bit of a moment, but nothing too serious. Same for Dixon Hurst. He's just had a little trip through the dirt and has now got Graham Jackson right behind him. So old Dog Juice looking for a way past that V12 Aston that just sounds glorious.
Can you tell us, being the final race of the series, can you tell us why he's called Dog Juice?
I still don't have I still don't have it answered.
I don't have the clearance.
No, I could tell you, but I'd have to kill you.
Yeah.
No, I don't remember what the story is. So we would actually have to ask old Dog Juice himself at some point. But we will do that. We will do that. Because I'm hoping that you'll be back for more racing with us in the future, Cammy.
I'm pretty sure I will be. I need to get more practice on ACC, and I'll probably do it in the V8 Vantage. But yeah, I'll be doing it. Oh, that was a great move. Was that a move for position with Dixon Durst? Just sort of flying
No,
past?
it wasn't.
No, it was still a dive bomb from quite a long way back. It was really well done.
It was. That's David Oller, who is a lap down. Yeah, he's sort of in between these two who are having a battle at the moment. And wow, that was interesting to say the least. So, yeah, well, let's go and have a look at it from old Dog Juice's point of view. So let's go on board with him. So this is down in the Andretti hairpin. So Oller is in the orange Mercedes. So he's just had Dixon Hurst fly past him, and now Graham is looking for a way past.
Oh, did he try to move out the way?
Goes to the inside.
Oller tried to move out the way.
Yeah.
You need to be predictable when you're being loud.
Tried to move out of the way into the direction that Graham was already in. Yeah, it's one of those things, isn't it? And Graham has lost a lot of time to to Dixon Hurst in the process, unfortunately.
Oh, yeah. When you're being lapped, you just need to keep your car going in a straight line, be predictable, especially around corners. Just stay on the racing line, and the car behind will make a safe overtake. There's certain exceptions where you can move over it and make it easier, but yeah. And Wilbert Van Oosenen, he's on for a great result, still on for the podium. He's going to be chasing down Willie Black. He's only a second behind. No, is he second behind Willie Black? Is that the time?
Yeah, it was as low as 3 or 4 tenths a couple of laps ago, and yeah, look at how they're all floating through the corkscrew. It's some great physics, that ACC. Good job. Yeah, as Hiker said earlier, a floatly boatly. Because we all
yeah, they
tend
always do that down the corkscrew.
Yeah. So I originally thought it was a connection thing, but no, it just seems to be an ACC thing. So good job there.
I wonder if they'll be using that in the PS5 promotional footage.
Well, they certainly won't be using the BMW in the Xbox promotional footage. Jardier was sharing some interesting stuff on Twitter the other day about the BMW in the new Xbox release. But you know what? I mean, we give these guys a hard time, but it's tricky to get everything right all of the time. And one of the things that, as we see Chris Martin having a bit of an off in the background, but one of the things that we do see about Kunos is and 505 Games is that they do tend to put fixes out pretty quickly when something goes wrong. So
was it Kunos you were telling me they accidentally became a sim developer?
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah. Now Johnny is right on the back of Alex Parkin now. Alex lets him go. How boring, Alex.
I think that's because it's Johnny. I'm just going to move out of his way rather than getting punted.
Hey, Johnny, she's learning.
No comment.
Pissed off with me. I've made a powerful enemy.
Let's see if we can pick this up on replay. But Willie has had a moment. Van Oosenen has got past him. So here comes... Were you celebrating Willie having a moment there, Johnny?
No, I had a moment.
Oh, you had a moment. Oh, Willie took mass sausage. Le Grand Saucisson on the inside and launched into the gravel.
Johnny ain't it. No patience, says Jimbo Massey 46, whoever that user is.
Jimbo Mancy 46? No idea. Never heard of him.
No, it's a cryptic name.
No, just go back to your Beechams.
Beechams. Black Impulse says it's always hard to get away if you are lapped. If you are late, he said. Black Impulse.
Yes, but I think he meant lapped.
Late. Yeah, but I'm just going to read it how it is. It makes for comedy.
But yeah,
since when can Bentleys now fly?
well, apparently this entire race.
Since DeLorean bought them, and they're all going down that corkscrew, going. Da, 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 da. Back to the Future reference.
Parkin having a good battle with Van Rooyen now. Van Rooyen gets past. So Parkin going backwards at the moment, unfortunately. But he's certainly had a tricky night out there. Unlike this man, Jonathan Seville. Jonathan Seville is about to put a lap on 6th placed Willie Black.
He's just got to be praying that nobody takes him out.
That just goes to show the level of dominance he's had tonight. I mean, Miles Dixon has closed the gap up to 15 seconds, but no doubt Seville is just chilling out front, really. Having said that, his last lap was a 1:23.4, and even that lap with doing the lapping, it was a low 24. So, yeah, he's still pretty quick.
He's still going to be sort of hoping, like, oh, don't turn into me, don't turn into me. Okay, I got through this one. Time for the next one. Don't turn into me, don't turn into me. Because you just can't take it for granted that every backmarker is going to let you through. Or notice that you're there, especially if they're fighting with somebody. As we're back with Sweet Speed, Julian Bell running in 3rd and leading the silver class still. What a fantastic race he's had. I don't want to say anything because I don't want to jinx him.
Well,
he's that.
Sorry?
Did he just say VAT as in like value-added tax?
I think it was a what is that?
Oh, I just heard VAT.
If it was in the last 30 seconds, we might see it. Yes, it was. So this is Johnny coming over the grid, and he's got Mr. Van Rooyen behind him. So I'm sensing some trouble ahead. Down. Oh yeah, Van Rooyen into the pit lane exit, and then just sending Johnny wide.
Yeah, does that not count as an off track then to use the pit lane?
He might have picked one up. Depends how many he's got to play with. But
risky.
Yeah. But, Johnny now making life harder for himself because I think you've just had a little off of your own, haven't you?
Yeah, tyres are shot. All gone now.
Bollocks. Well, 10 minutes to. But woo, sort of making your own way over the corkscrew there. Yeah, you got 10 minutes just to nurse it home.
David Oller just coming out of the pits, so I think he must have just been in for another one, so maybe he's just used up all the tyres as well, so he thought he'd put some fresh ones on. So your class leaders, by the way, are Jonathan Seville, he's 1st overall, and your pro leader. Julian Bell is your silver class leader and has been ever since about turn 2. And then Sam Roughton, he's still your AM class leader, and that's a fair distance on Alex Depper, so just needs to keep it clean and on track, and probably wants to let Veeman go behind him because Veeman is a lap down and just wants to chill out on his own, really. But
yeah, you don't want to get caught in somebody else's accident and then missing their braking point and going into the back of you. It's the last thing you need now with 9 minutes to go. Let him pass! Let him pass!
Yeah, okay, he's letting him go into turn 1. Makes a lot of sense. Didn't lose a lot of time himself, so that's all good.
No, Sam Roughton's had a great race, given how qualifying went with the wet track for them. He's up into 14th. He's doing really well.
Hiker's right. Van Oostenen is having a really strong night. Johnny, it's clear that Van Oostenen is rapidly becoming a very quick, very consistent driver. We're going to have to watch him, aren't we?
Absolutely, yeah. We saw on Friday, you know, we made the decision to keep him in the car because he was a lap quicker than me, and it was the sensible way for us to win a race. So, yeah, he's done the rookie league. He's now a rookie. He's going to be a rookie coach for season 2. And he's come a long way. He's got something to do with all the practice he puts in.
Yeah, it certainly has. And just whilst you were talking about that, we've just seen a replay of Petr Jelinek dropping it, unfortunately. Legrand Sausage creating an issue for him as well. The old sausage curbs can catch you out pretty much anywhere in ACC. They are violent at times.
Yeah, really easy. Just take a little bit too much curb. You're trying to optimise your line, and you take a little bit too much. And it's not like the more you take, gradually the worse it gets. It's just like, I go from perfect, and then you take a tiny bit more. It's like, oh crap! I've been flung up in the air. I've lost control of the car. It's just like really bites you. It's just this all or nothing sort of thing.
I just missed a follow, by the way, so thank you whoever just followed us. But that's because Willie Black has had a big drop it down at the corkscrew into the barrier. You're going to see him come pinging back across the track. I think it was pretty safe for him to do so. He waited and waited before coming back across the track. Yeah, nice and safely done. But that's cost Willie dearly. In fact, Rudolf Stein has moved up onto the podium in silver class now. So that has cost Willie quite a lot of time and a place.
That's pretty devastating in the last 5-6 minutes of the race for Willie Black to drop it like
Jonathan
that.
Seville is off. That's our race leader. He's round. He's had a moment with Ralph Vest, I think.
Miles Dixon could be going through to take the lead.
Well, there was still a big gap, but we're about to see. So that's Vest in the green and black McLaren. So he tries to go to switcheroo on Vest. Vest drops it. It's really unfortunate. He just got caught up in Vest's incident himself.
I would have just let the car roll backwards and sort of get it facing the right way again, rather than stopping and then doing a 270
Dixon
turn.
Into the lead. Dixon has taken the lead. Cammy, you're absolutely right.
But Miles Dixon, I wouldn't be surprised if he just backs off, lets Seville catch up and take those points for the lead. If he knows the championship's at stake, he can just back off the gas and let Seville return to what they might feel is rightful place. Sort of general team orders that are sort of sensible in this sort of situation, and that is why Miles Dixon is there. He's the rear gunner in this situation. I guess the number 2 driver, in a sense, would be hired to do.
Yeah, we will see if that is the case or not. We'll keep an eye on that one. Jimbo has obviously been on far too much of the Beechams already because he thought it was funny saying Willie's cork screwed up there. That's just epic comedy there, Jimbo. Well done. But what we are about to see is Alex Shahabi now with a chance to get himself onto the pro podium. He's right behind Chris Martin. That's Wilbert Van Oostenen in front of them. Ignore the laggy moment there. That's Petter Jelinek getting out of the way. Good job, Petter.
Nicely done. Nicely done. Predictable.
Yeah, Shahabi will be looking for a way past Martin. So Van Oostenen saw those two coming then and just dived out of the way because Chris Martin was so late on the brakes trying to defend from Alex Shahabi. He was about to hit Van Oostenen, but Van Oostenen spotted it, dived out of the way. But now Shahabi to the outside as they head down into turn 2, the Andretti hairpin. He's going to try for the old switcheroo, but Chris Martin wise to it.
Yeah, calm down, Crofty. I mean, you're loving that switcheroo. I'm sorry, I've got something in my throat and it's bugging me from talking at the moment. Sorry. Take over.
So Alex Shahabi didn't quite find a way past that time, but you would suggest it's possibly only a matter of time. Jimbo Mansi says that he learnt those poor one-liners off a certain peg leg. Thank you for that.
Okay,
probably true. But Chris Martin needs to defend. Willie Black gets back past Dirk Botha. That's a positional change in silver. So Willie back onto the podium, I think, in silver.
Jonathan Seville is catching Miles Dixon. He's made a second up in the last lap and a half.
So this was the battle down into turns 2 and 3 between Botha and Black, but Willie Black is through. Up a spot then into 9th overall, and I think I'm right in saying that so that was Willie defending his position. That's right, it's Rudolf Stein who got ahead of him onto the podium.
I wonder if we can get an onboard shot with Jonathan Seville, as he's going to be trying to catch Miles Dixon. We haven't had any onboard shots yet, so I thought it might be a nice welcome break and sort of get a visual on how quickly he's going to catch his teammate and sort of see how obvious it is that there's team orders. We're
just going to switch to an onboard with Alex Shahabi though, because this battle's still raging with Chris Martin. So we'll keep an eye on that gap out front. But this is our closest battle on track right now. So this is the view backwards from Chris Martin towards Alex Shahabi. So back on board with Alex as they head up to this fast and horrible left-hander as they climb the hill up towards the corkscrew. Martin runs a little bit wide. Shahabi will now look to see if he can do anything into the corkscrew. But that's going to be difficult to do there. And he's going to have to wait probably until the hairpin at the end of the lap to try and put a move on Chris. But what a job Chris is doing in defending this one so far.
Yeah, it's a solid defence. He's just making it difficult to overtake, putting the car on the inside line. You can't really overtake. It's difficult to overtake through the corkscrew, but the best thing you can do is set yourself up to come out the next few corners quicker and get a good drive out of them. Jonathan Seville's made up another second on Miles Dixon, so I would say Miles Dixon is just taking it easy this last couple of laps, and I expect he'll let Jonathan... They might even cross the line together to sort of mark the victory. I think that would be cool if they sort of cross the line together. Jonathan Seville taking the win that he'll probably think was his anyway. Yeah, that's my prediction.
Yeah, gap down to a second out front. So I think Miles is probably backing off to let Seville catch up. We've only got a minute and a quarter left to go. The other thing they might be doing is you never know how close they are on fuel, so they could be backing off to make sure this is the final lap. But Seville right up behind Dixon now. So are we going to see a team orders change of position here, or a drive to the flag?
Here we go.
Hand in hand. I think Cammie's right,
Miles
and she
over.
is.
Of course.
Of course, yeah. Of course.
Oh, Miles Dixon, don't put a foot in the mud. You don't want to spin it. I think he's all right, though. He'll just follow his teammate now and go on to a glorious 1-2 where Seville and I assume the team, I don't know if there isn't really a team standing, but they'll feel like as a team they've won the championship as well.
Now we are back with the Martin and Shahabi battle here for... This is third in class. It's for fourth overall, but it's for third in pro class. Alex Shahabi would be really pleased with a third place after what happened in the first part of the race. But,
I just hope there's not going to be anything silly that takes them both out. Oh, has he got... No,
it's not...
the switcheroo then.
He didn't quite have the switcheroo. But yeah, Chris is placing his car beautifully. This is the final lap of the race.
We are out of time.
So these guys now coming down into final couple of corners, and Seville runs wide. Dixon has a look up the inside. Oh no, they've got through onto another lap, haven't they?
They have, yeah. They only had about 10 seconds. They've snuck through onto another lap. And yeah, it sort of looked like he was having a cheeky look, but I don't think he will. But Alex Shahabi does mean to overtake. There are no team orders because they're not even on the same team. That's how that works. Will he do it? It'd have to be a dive. You know, there's only 4 or 5 corners left, and we don't want to see them make contact.
These guys have got another lap afterwards.
Oh, have they got another lap?
Yeah, because Seville and Dixon have just gone through onto another lap, so these guys will have another lap as well. But I don't think he's going to need it. Alex Shahabi's through. Great move. Oh, now finds a back marker. That's Tom Stocks, I think, was trying to get out of the way. So
the Lord giveth, the Lord yeeteth, the Lord yoinketh.
Okay, I'm not sure which parable that's in, but Alex Shahabi's got to do it all over again now. Chris Martin must be thinking that all of his Christmases came at once. Alex Shahabi up the inside. There is some contact, and
Shahabi came off worse.
He did, so he's going to have to do it all again. And
he might not be able to make up that gap now. He must be thinking he's cursed. He's like, oh, I tried to get past once and somebody took me out. Are these two just going to cruise across the line together?
They've already done it. So they've already crossed the line, and they crossed in formation finish. So, Pulse guys, I'm sorry I didn't catch you crossing the line, but there you are, running side by side afterwards. It's a 1-2 for Pulse Sim Sport. Jonathan Seville from Miles Dixon. We're going to pick up on Julian Bell. He's going to cross the line to take an overall podium. A great result for JB, and a win in silver class. But let's go back to this Martin and Shahabi battle, because Shahabi's coming back at him, look.
Oh yeah, they're coming down to the last 5 corners now. Alex Shahabi's really closed up again, and it's going to have to be a do or die attack, and I don't think Chris is going to have the patience to let him go by. He's just going to hold the defensive line and not going to be pushed out of the way. And if he is, it'll go to stewards.
Yeah, this
Charlie's
one...
not got anything. He's too far back. Late break.
Unless Chris makes any mistake on the exit, but he doesn't. So, well done, Chris Martin. He holds on for a podium in Pro. That's a great result for Chris. And holding off Alex Shahabi in that way. Superb stuff. Almost collecting Johnny Ashley on the way through. But Mr. Van Oostenen does. And a little chuckle from Johnny. Rudolf Stein crosses the line 7th. So I think we're just waiting for Mr. Stocks and Go.
Jimbo Menzi says, well done, Johnny, on the win and the championship, and for using his prime sub-to-sub to oNiD. As for Miles, thumbs up, smiley with a sweat drop emoji.
He likes to call Miles tight, I think.
Why is that? Is that as tight as in doesn't spend his money?
Yeah.
Squeaks when he walks.
So that's your 1, 2, 3 there. Look, just circulating at the end. So yeah. So oh, and they're all doing synchronised puntage.
There are
now.
series with rules against this sort of thing because they feel it looks unprofessional to sort of all crash into each other.
Yeah, well,
The last race.
it's the last race. It's the end of the season. Shall we try and
mandatory donuts?
So Jonathan Seville will win Pro. I'm just working out the scores. Where did Suckling come?
Suckling, he
was right at the bottom. He was 27th.
Hang on then.
So that was pretty exciting to watch. Actually, it was action all the way through that. It did not feel like an hour and a half race at all.
It did, but I am tired and I've had a long day of driving on a motorway, which isn't it's not the funnest drive, is it, on a motorway? And I was like, oh, do I just go straight into commentating? Yeah, I shouldn't let my fans down.
Or me.
It's as you were. Jonathan Seville is our Pro champion. Our Silver champion is James Suckling, and our Am champion is Alex Depper.
So there we go. Well done, guys, for that. Great result for all of you. Jimbo, no, it didn't rain. Well, it did at the very beginning of qualifying, but it dried out. So yeah, I think changeable conditions in qualifying made qualifying difficult. And tricky conditions in the race, I think it's fair to say, with the temps and the track evolving and the real risk of just dropping it if you touch the dirt on the outside. So really tricky stuff for the guys tonight, and plenty of incidents throughout the evening, but some really good action as well. So Johnny, that's the GT3 World Series over. And I know the next GT3 series in effect is full, but we are still taking names, right? Because we may end up with a second split in that.
Yeah, I'm thinking that we may, in actual fact, do a second split. So there'll be details coming out, but we have got a full 50 grid, and we've got 7 or 8 drivers waiting in the wings to join as well. So more than likely, I may open a second split because there's a couple of weeks before that begins, and I think we might get a few more sign-ups before then.
JB's up for an interview. I'm not sure if we're in the right place to be able to pull him in, though, are we?
No, they are sitting in the comms pod in the main, aren't they?
Right, I'm going to go jump in the comms pod in the main.
Okay.
So let's go.
Hang on. I am very, very tired, so I am going to leave the interviews to you, good sir, if that's okay.
Okay, Johnny, are you coming to join me?
Go on then.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
So great to pick up with our winners from tonight, and it's been pretty dramatic. Johnny's going to come join us in a second, not because he was a winner, but because I want to talk to him in a moment about how the season finished off. But let's start with Mr. Seville.
Hello.
Where do we start? Turn 1, lap 1. Oh my God, how did you escape from that?
Well, I looked in the mirror and saw a beast on on the sand coming towards me, so I just sort of braced and thought I was ready for a hit. So I think that's why I survived. So yeah, that was entertaining. But he badly damaged my car. It was understeering like mad for the first stint. It wasn't too bad, but I could feel the damage.
So I think actually it was the chunk of your teammate's BMW that actually hit you, because I think Beeson hit Miles and Miles hit you. So it was.
I think Beeson hit me and that pushed me into Miles. I think.
Oh right, it was that
Miles
way
was
round.
on the
Was
right.
it?
Yeah.
But obviously some of your championship challenges or race challenges suffered as a result. Put Miles back a bit, and certainly ruined Alex's night. But you still had more drama later on when you caught Ralph Fest having a spin right in front of you, and we thought it was all over.
It took a while to get past him, and then suddenly, I don't know. I tried my best to avoid. We didn't hit each other, but obviously, like my avoidance caught me in the sand, and then I spun around. I had a few. I don't know. There's a few scary moments with people throughout that race, which it kept the heart rate up.
Well, nice to know that we're helping to keep you fit. Anyway, But we can also confirm that you have won the GT3 World Series title. So congratulations for that.
Thank you.
Must be a great result for you at the end of what's been a long season.
Yeah, I was. Yeah, it was a bit of a shaky start, and there was a couple of strategy choices that left. I don't know, a bit questionable from myself and Miles actually when we've been in strong positions. But
Alton Park.
yeah, and Suzuka. Yeah, but yeah, obviously managed to stay near the top throughout, even with them. And then obviously the couple of wins at the end, and I'll thank Miles as well for being so nice to let me have the win back after the incident with the back marker. Well, pretty happy.
Yeah, I can imagine you are. Congratulations for that. Let's move on to JB, because JB, what a solid race you've had tonight.
Thank you. Yeah, I think it all started in T1. I knew I had P1 in class straight ahead of me, so I just tried to go as deep on the inside as possible to try to get on the inside of him. And quite conveniently, I saw Beeson just flying into everyone else ahead of me, and I just thought, okay, I'm taking this chance. Just went on the inside of everyone, pushed my way through with like 2 wheels on the gravel the whole time, and ended up P3. Then later P2 in the lap when Beeson sort of half lost it. So yeah, I think it was the start that really did it for the most part.
But you managed to keep yourself out of trouble pretty much all the way through the race. Was there any big moments for you that had you worried about holding on to that win?
Yeah, there was one big moment when I was behind a lap car, and I went to flash him, and then I accidentally pressed my pit limiter instead. Slowed down, and just obviously that slowed the car right down. Got hit in the rear into the wall, but luckily I had like 30 seconds to P2 in class, so I kept going. Did my pit stop on that lap, came out. In the end, I was behind. I think I lost 1 overall position to it, but luckily the position I lost, he got a drive through.
That explains what happened to you. Yeah, okay, because we wondered why you dropped back a little bit, but that explains now. So a good finish to the season for you. Back in the next season for more. Are you already booked into the next one?
Yeah, absolutely. I've had a pretty dismal season for the most part, so it feels really good to end off this strongly.
Brilliant stuff. Well done for that. And I'm pleased to say our winner in AM tonight, Sam Roughton. Good job, sir.
Yeah, you know what? Tough race today.
You sound absolutely shattered.
I am, mate. I am. Haven't really had a chance to rest all weekend, if I'm honest with you. But gonna watch the rest of the NASCAR and then go to bed, I feel.
Johnny, have you ever heard anyone sound so tired after a race?
No, I don't think so. No, and I'm fat and sweaty, and I don't even sound that tired.
Yeah, and even I don't think you've even heard me sound that tired after a race before. It's
maybe getting up the stairs, but
yeah, thanks for that. Yeah, and ooh, I've just been handed a curly whirly.
There you go.
That's made my
Getting
night.
better, doesn't it?
Yeah,
point proven.
yeah, exactly. But yes, so Sam, surely that's your last race in AM.
Yeah, it's a shame. I think I fell just a bit short of the title. I think.
Yeah, I think you've landed about 3 or maybe not too many points short, but really good effort from you.
Yeah.
Really good effort.
Shame is though, I'm probably not going to get that chance to win a title for a while until I get quicker.
Well, what you could
Practicing
do
it.
is do what I do and just absolutely sandbag the evaluations, and then
Automatic silver for Adam.
and then what happens is that Willie and Johnny spend ages saying, "No, we're putting you in silver this time. We're putting you in silver this time," and then after the evaluations, you end up in AM again.
Oh, it's even better, isn't it?
Yeah,
Should always do that.
it's quite easy to trick them. It's absolutely fine. Or what you could do is break your foot, have sort of 3 or 4 months off, and then you'll probably end up being slower than ever on your return.
There's another way, but I prefer not to break my foot, if I'm honest with you.
I can highly recommend avoiding that. Yes, absolutely. But no, well done for that.
Cheers, mate.
Shame that you just missed out on the title, but good job tonight. Johnny, just to finish off with you, a really good series to start the year. I mean, we're only at the end of Feb, but we're already through our first GT3 league of the season. What happens next on a Sunday night?
Next Sunday we have our England versus Germany event, rounds older, 90 minutes, British and German cars only. I think we've got plenty of spots available for that. If people want to come and join in, they feel free to do so. Just checking how many we've got. So we've got 31 cars signed up, so we've got 19 spots available for that one. So that all kicks off from 7 PM next Sunday. The following Sunday we will begin our evaluations for the European series.
Brilliant.
So like I said, we've got 50 signed up for one grid already. There is a potential that we may even run 2 splits if we get enough people signed up, which will be the first time in our short history.
I think that's a nailed on. Absolutely, that's going to happen.
Oh, I'd like to think so. Means we'll be busier, but yeah, it will certainly be worth it, and it will show why people race with us, and it's a testament to the guys that do race with us, and they race clean, and it draws people in, and more people to come and race with us. So let's keep that up and doing what we're doing, and we'll may even one day run 3 splits, which will be ridiculous.
Who knows? Maybe that day won't be too far away. But no, I think this season has been a cracker to watch. It's been interesting to commentate on from time to time, and yeah, hopefully before long I can get myself back into one of these GT3 series. But yeah, Johnny, great series overall. Some great on-track action. So well done to you for that, and I guess we'll be back pretty soon.
Absolutely.
So with that, that is the end of our stream for tonight. So just leaves me to say thank you to everyone who's watched all the way through the series, and thank you to all of you who interact in the chat as well. Always makes for a bit of extra fun. I'll leave you with the video to play us out, and then that'll be it for the GT3 World Series this time around. We will see you Tuesday night for the next round of the GT4s, and then we'll see you on Thursday night for... Is it the final round of the rookies on Thursday?
It is, yeah.
Oh, wow, final round of the rookies. That should be some real entertainment as well. And then next Sunday is the England-Germany event. So plenty of stuff going on here at oNiD. Don't forget to come join the Discord if you're not part of it already. Thank you very much, everyone, and we'll see you again soon.